Alright, we're live. Hey guys, Rorius here. I have bagels. That's why I'm late. I had to get bagels. I had to make bagels. Not the bagel itself, but the filling. Welcome to the reaction stream. I hope you guys are ready and willing. I hope some people have posted. I have not checked. Oh, I see the announcement hasn't been made. 1 second, I will do that. There we go. Okay. She just did like she just is probably busy with something. But it's all good. Hey Polo. How you doing? Um just looking at some chat. Looking at some Discord chat from earlier. If Rorius was the name of a dance, what would it look like? I would say it would be one of those crazy dances that are super simple but a bit childish. How dare. Imagine it being a hybrid of tap dancing and break dancing. The mix of parkour. People have a little a little more faith in my abilities. Yeah. Mick, I see your message about multiplayer. We hadn't done the reaction stream yet. I think more people had asked about the reaction stream than multiplayer stream. So yeah, today is reaction stream. Unfortunately, multiplayer streams. In terms of my schedule, I haven't got a multiplayer stream scheduled until for a few more, like until at least next weekend. Because tomorrow is Mother's Day, so I can't stream tomorrow. How's life? How the family? How are the streams? What's going on? I'm hyped. uh, life's pretty good. Family is good and healthy. Uh, Streams have been pretty good recently. Like I've been enjoying the streams. I'm really enjoying the streams where we just like play a thing. So like I've been doing stuff like the what's a good example? What's a really good example? I'm gonna think like I guess like Townscaper or um yeah, things like that. Or like Aperture Desk Job. I was like, what the hell is it called? Hey Digits. How you doing? Alright. Now, where this was loaded last night. Where were we? Okay. Looks like people have posted stuff. That's good, that's good. We looked at that clearly. We upvoted it. Because it was a picture of someone playing Crisis on an old IBM. I think today we're starting with steamed hams. Totally didn't just wake up. Right, yeah. Does it smell like up dog in here? What is up dog? Oh! Yeah. Alright, we got steamed hams. But there's a different animator every 13 seconds. Ooh.
Well, Seymour,
Wait. I'm gonna put the volume up.
it, despite your directions.
Ah, Superintendent Chalmers, welcome. I hope you're prepared for an unforgettable luncheon.
Yeah.
Oh, ye gods! My roast is ruined! But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own cooking? Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
That episode. This episode of The Simpsons is great. It's mini stories from all the different characters.
Superintendent, I was just stretching my calves on the windowsill. Isometric exercise. Care to join me?
Why is there smoke coming out of your oven, Seymour?
It's steam.
Oh, that isn't smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steamed clams we're having. Mmm, steamed clams. Superintendent, I hope you're ready for mouth-watering hamburgers.
I thought we were having steamed clams.
No, I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers.
You call hamburgers steamed hams?
Yes, it's a regional dialect.
Uh-huh. What region?
Upstate New York?
Really? Well, I'm from Utica, and I've never heard anyone use the phrase steamed hams.
Oh, not in Utica. No, it's an Albany expression.
I see. You know, these hamburgers are quite similar to the ones they have at Krusty Burger.
Oh, no. Patented Skinner Burgers. Old family recipe.
For steamed hams.
Yes.
Yes, and you call them steamed hams despite the fact they are obviously grilled.
You know, one thing I should...
Well, I'm still a little low.
1 second.
Of course.
Oh, well, that was wonderful. Good time was had by all. I'm pooped.
Yes, I should be. Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Aurora Borealis?
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year.
At this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
No.
No.
Seymour, the house is on fire!
No, Mother, it's just the Northern Lights.
Well, Seymour, you are an odd fellow, but I must say, you steam a good ham.
Help! Help!
That's brilliant. That was really well done. I love some of the crazy animations. But guy, I miss The Simpsons. I don't watch The Simpsons usually these days. Keep in mind I may have posted a lot for the stream. Okay, I see. I have not checked. Like I had it loaded up from last night, and there's a nice amount according to that amount. Firstly, they're obviously grilled. Secondly, I mean, they're called hamburgers, but like there's no ham in a hamburger. So like also saying steamed hams, this makes no fucking sense. Who eats burgers like that? Who eats burgers with a burger eats you? That's what happened to the Chalmers. Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. Steamed toast. It's like actually steamed bread. If you actually have steamed bread, it's like that. Chinese bread is like that. The Chinese pork buns are bread that is steamed. Moist, soggy bread. Alright, what do we got here? Adasdast. Bully Ball's even faster in Minecraft with new Swift Sneak Enhancement. Enchantment. God damn it, I can't read today. Swift Sneak plus pre-sprint plus Potion of Swiftness 2 plus macro or key rebinding here. Damn. That's good. That's an interesting use of that new ability. I hadn't thought about that. I'm Batman.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Hold it right there!
How much do you weigh?
Only the scenes where he's trying to turn around. I just realized that's what the premise is.
Shields open. They're great survivors. The Joker's tainted hundreds of chemicals at the source.
An whole shipment.
This was my, like, this film was my Batman movie. It was the Batman movie we had at home that on VHS that I used to watch a lot. So that movie has a special place in my heart. That Tim Burton Batman film. I liked it a lot as a kid. But yeah, almost every Batman costume is a mess in terms of him turning his head. Like, they always make it like rigid. His like shoulders to head, the neck section of Batman's outfit's always rigid. So to turn, he has to move his entire chest. Yeah, it's silly. It's really silly. Oh, also, just for the start of the thing, let's see what the reward is going to be for today. A silver. Okay, so just my favorite. Whatever is my favorite post of the day. And we shall also just quickly call out or shout out the shout out all the members. We haven't done that yet today. So, to all the Royal Maximilians, we've got, I'll go from the bottom to the top. We've got Jonas with 22 months of Royal Maximilian. We've got Core Gamer with 19 months. We've got on YouTube, just the Josie with 17 months. We've got King of Fools with 13 months. We've got Digits with 12 months of Royal Maximilian. We've got RNG with 6 months of Royal Maximilian. We've got Tiana and Chris both with 23 months of Royal Maximilian. And we've got Rocky with 9 months of Royal Maximilian. Thank you to all the members of the channel. I really appreciate your support. You guys help me continue to do what I do. But anyway, back to reacting. Yeah. I like to try and do it early-ish in the stream. Yeah. You've been here for you've been a member for a year. I don't know if you immediately became a member, but yeah, what is time? What is time? It just disappears so fast. It's wild. It's wild. Alright, we got Terminator 2 eye fixed. Oh, so the eye actually looks the way it's supposed to? That took me a bit, but that is still an illegal amount of time. Yeah. That's the thing. Is like I was thinking about it before. It's like it's interesting to see who joined in for the different game jams. Because like you joined in the last year's game jam as well. So like that shows that you were, but to be fair, the last year's game jam happened in like August instead of April. So yeah, it's different time, but yeah, still, I was like, yeah, I just think it's interesting to think about those kinds of things.
I remember walking in one time, and he said to me, "This is what you're going to look like when the artificial eye, that lens is exposed and lights up red and all this stuff." When I saw that, I said to myself, "That's impossible to do."
In 2017, Terminator 2 headed back to the big screen with a 3D conversion, 4K restoration, and a new color grade, as well as a waxy grain removal. But most importantly to note, it had a few visual effects touch-ups to remove certain mistakes. For example, when the truck drives off the bridge. In the original version, the front windows smash out on impact, but in the very next shot, the windows are back. This is probably due to having multiple trucks for stunts, so they went and put the windows back in the truck when it hits the ground. They digitally added Schwarzenegger's face onto the stunt double for 2 bike stunts, because like, come on, the more HD this movie gets, the more you're like,
the more you
that ain't
notice
Arnold. And apparently they digitally removed the T-1000's nuts, but I haven't got the old version of this film to really hyper focus on that detail, so I'll just trust the internet on that one. But this got me thinking. I used to be one of the biggest Terminator 2 fans since I was...
I can't say I ever noticed. It feels a bit loud to me. Can't say I ever noticed the liquid metal Terminator's nuts. I can't say I ever noticed that.
A pup, and for the first couple of decades after this film's release, most people were. But now apparently it's overrated. I recently saw a comment on Facebook regarding this film, and it went like, man, I saw Terminator 2 for the first time, and it had no plot, and it was just an excuse for action. I hate today. But anyway, for me, Terminator 2 always stood out as an absolute gold standard for both storytelling and action, with a perfect blend of practical effects and CGI. You can watch me gush over those details in my masterclass cinema videos on Terminator 2. But after seeing the 3D
now I have to go back and watch it again.
re-release with those certain changes got me thinking about one part of the film that has always stood out to me. So I thought I'd have a go at fixing it myself. So, as much as I'm a James Cameron shill, and after how much I've always rewatched Terminator 2 with rose-tinted glasses, there's always been 3 things that stuck out to me that stops it from being 100% perfect that it basically already is. The first is the continuity error with Arnold's hands on the gun. Takes hand off the gun.
Still early.
Takes hand off the gun again. The second is, look, I know how cool it is when the T-1000 drives his bike out the window and onto the helicopter. It's so impressive because it was done practically, which for me, by today's standards, is like oxygen to someone who's drowning. But why would the T-1000 think to drive his bike up to the top story of Cyberdyne? Was he anticipating a high-speed chase in an office building? It would have been the exact same effect if he had just ran and jumped out the window that Arnie was shooting out of, like as we saw him jump onto the cop car. But whatever. The stunt is real, therefore it's key. Key, that's key. And the other thing that's always stood out to me is something that comes with a moral argument for correcting. So, my issue is the exposed eye at the end of T2.
Your goal is to finally make a game that so you can participate in the fabled Rorius Game Jam. Well, that's a dream that can still come true one day. I'll be hosting another game jam sometime, not too far away. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
Due to how it just being a prosthetic with a light bulb in it, it's just locked in place. And it becomes a bit of a distraction.
It's a good motivator, so yeah, I agree.
Real eye moving around, and the fake eye is just locked in place. Also in some shots, you can see the light bulb poking out further than it should. And so, after seeing the CGI touch-ups for the T2 re-release, it kind of started growing more in my mind of, what if they replace the eye digitally? And this is where it becomes a moral dilemma. The practical application from Stan Winston, even by today's standards, is fantastic. Like, this was just beyond belief back then, and to an extent it still is today. Just how tight it is on Schwarzenegger's face. It's meant to look like it's under the skin, and aside from the red light in the eye, it does not look like it sticks out at all. However, it technically does, but it all depends on how you frame his face. And this was such a technical marvel for the time, because even though the first movie did this process, it was still a bit clunky, which led them to using a puppet head to really show the depth in the exposed features on his face. So, it's morally wrong to say they should have digitally replaced the eye for the re-release, because this application is still good enough by today's standards. But once you notice that his eye is locked in place, it becomes something you just can't unsee. And the reason why I have the moral dilemma of that being a part of the official re-release is because I'm against adding new junk into old films just because you can. That's the main reason I turned my back on Star Wars. I don't care what's better, the prequels, the sequels, the cartoons, the video games. I still haven't seen The Mandalorian or Once Were Bounty Hunters, because as of now, we still do not have the original 3 Star Wars movies in their original theatrical forms restored in 4K. And I refuse to replace my DVD until Disney gets their shit together and puts them out. And I'm ashamed of the Star Wars fan base for not bullying them into doing it. I hate seeing Hayden Christensen's ghost show up in Jedi. But it's because Anakin returned to the good side, so it's the version of him before he becomes Darth Vader. Yeah, and Luke is thinking, hey, it's Obi-Wan and Yoda, the way I remember them. Who the fuck is that? I've never seen that man before in my life. If only it was my dad, who I only just met face to face a few hours ago. So for now, I'll stick to my passive-aggressive letterboxed laserdisc transfers that are the bonus discs on the old DVDs. Oh yeah, back to T2. So fixing the eye was something I always wanted to see, but who am I to tell them that they should replace Stan Winston's great work? Because what they did fix doesn't distract me at all. If you want to start replacing all the little errors, then like, this film would get worked on forever. Like when the T-1000 crushes the Terminator's face, that actually exposes his eye. There's the initial shot that stands out to me because there's no actual red light on that puppet. And the following shot actually rotoscoped a red light onto the eye, like they did in the first movie.
Get out.
And like, when the T-1000 reforms after being shot into pieces, you can see a thread in his costume poking out. Wouldn't he just suck that back in or not form it in the first place? Blah, blah, that's just nitpicking. Because like, you know, you could just justify why the eye is stuck in place. Maybe the T-1000 smashed up his face so much that it actually broke his eye. So it's just fixed in place. So it's derpy on purpose. Nah. That's like how nerds use my criticism of the Predator head from Predators in my Predator face video as a justification. Also, the Predator has a broken jaw apparently, because the mouth is just fixed open. It never opens or closes. It just stays open like a Halloween mask. Got so many comments saying, hey man, maybe the Predator's jaw was broken because the super duper Predators were beating him up all day. And it's like, no, we know what a beaten up Predator looks like from the first one. If that Predator was to look beaten up, it would look more like this. There we go. And since I've now opened the fixing stuff with visual effects door, I decided to just have a go at fixing the eye myself due to years of morbid curiosity. And this is how I did it.
I'm so curious to see it.
And so, since 3D modeling ain't my bag, I just used 2D trickery because I'm lazy. The step one was to add the depth back into the socket. As impressive as this appliance was in 1991, the eye is in the exact same position as Arnold's real eye, when we all know that the Terminator eye is actually further into the skull, and the grown human eye sits in front of it. This is what added to that terrifying moment in the original, when he looks up in the mirror for that awesome reveal. Then I sampled the current eye and put it on a 3D axis. And going off of what I just said, I made the eye sit further back into the skull. So despite being slightly off center, it actually makes sense in Z space. And then it was a matter of matching the movements of Arnold's real eye, which was a bit tricky because since he's human, his eye won't just stay fixed ahead. There's subtle little ticks in it. But matching that helps sell the fake eye better, because now you're seeing two things move in unison. And since I was just using 2D trickery to achieve this effect, I tried making sure that the lighting on the eye was reactive. So when he's looking forward, all the metal is just hidden in shadow. But then when he turns his head, you see a bit of the metallic eyeball get revealed. And after seeing this effect, I think it really helps show the personality shine through the exposed Terminator part of his face. That's why I still love the...
Anyway, let's move on. We've watched so much of that. We're probably going to get copyright claimed. Didn't know you started playing Mini Metro until recently and decided to play it out of boredom a few days ago, and I saw you had achievements for that game, Lamal. Yeah. I played like a bunch of the levels. I just started playing it at, in my own time, just as like a relaxation game. And it's good. It's a lot of fun. It's very simple, but it's a lot of fun. And it gets really hard really quickly. In terms of like I almost always fail immediately after I get the achievement for that level. It's a very, very common experience. Alright, we've got Something's Fishy. This is from a Jolly Wangcore.
Having a nightmare? Oh no. Oh.
Gordon.
Hi,
We
Alex.
haven't known each other very long, but I know
long
you
enough.
didn't have to do this. Thanks for coming after me.
Wait. I just realized the Terminator is pretty much the same as the Cylons from Battlestar Galactica. Oh. I've not really seen Battlestar Galactica myself, so I'm not sure. But I've heard that name. Cylons. Oh my god. I hit so many extra keys when trying to type Cylon. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, as in like the Skynet system is similar to Cylons, you mean? Hmm. Interesting.
No problem, Alex. To be fair, I'm pretty sure this is exactly what G-Man wanted, and my motivations are tenuous for anything I do.
That's so true, Damien.
So,
when you get like
wait, what?
one whole side of the screen, like you get.
Why is G-Man talking?
When you get like a section that is like separated from the rest of the like space via like a bridge, like bridges.
Not quite how I remember this going down.
Wait, what the? Wait, G-Man's talking to Breen with the intro thing. I just noticed. Yeah, but yeah, no. When you get like the main part of the city is on this side of the screen, and then you got like an island section that is like separated via like you have to build bridges or tunnels, and there's just like endless circles on one side, and all those circles keep spawning every other shape other than circle. It's just like, come on, stop it. Oh, there are Cylons that look like humans?
Down.
When I looked up Cylons, I only saw the robots.
Okay, this is normal-ish.
What are you left behind?
Gravity gun.
The gravity gun.
Yes.
G-Man and Breams are...
Does he?
No. Oh.
You must be here to take on me.
What not?
Actually, we were here for Alex's dad, but
Oh God, not again.
I'll take you on. I'll take you on, Lost Coast Fisherman.
Oh my God.
The heck?
What? Oh, shit.
Warming up my guns, lad. I'm afraid this is it.
No problem. You did cause a slight bit of collateral damage, though. In case of giant fisherman robot uprising, use provided cannons. If you say so. Okay. And where would I find these cannons? Oh, got a crowbar. That'll be handy. That'll be real useful. Especially when I've got the ultra gravity gun. Probably want all this shit. What are you gonna... What's he doing?
Hope you like leeches.
Not particularly. But, whatever. Oh, this is a lot to take in. This is the cannon. This is the cannon.
The manhacks just have leeches. Oh my god.
Definitely the cannon. Uh-oh. Oh god. Oh fuck it, I'm shooting them. Why was that just a... Oh shit. Oh, okay, this is silly. This is silly and I'm fucking it up.
What? Stop messing around, laddie. I got bigger fish to fry.
Okay. Pay attention to the gameplay first, memes second. Oh, how do I kill this guy? Oh my god. Okay. Hack? Hit the arms. His attacks, lasers, rockets, leech hacks. Watch your step. Hit the weak points for massive damage.
Watch your step up there, laddie.
Nice reference. Use the same battle plan for giant enemy crabs, apparently. Man, whoever made this just really wanted to meme it up, huh? Hit the arms. Hit the arms. Kill the leech crabs. Leech crabs? Sorry, not leech crabs. Sorry, can you tell there's a lot going on? Can you tell there's a lot going on? There's a lot happening. It's really difficult to keep a coherent train of thought. It really is a fucking Germa reference. Are you serious? I don't think he's playing this Map Labs, buddy. I don't think he's gonna be here. I think that reference is only there for like a select few people. It's actually probably there for Vinesource to react to, but I reacted to it first, god damn it. Okay. Well,
Hey, I bet you're glad you
kind of
got
figured
me
out this
again.
one. Was that from the mod or was that from me? That was from me. Oh no! Run! Ooh, great. We're fine. We're safe. Music stopped. Because victory is assured. Victory is fucking assured, yes. Eat a dick.
Oh, hey, Fireboy.
What do I do now? What do I do now? Shoot him in the face?
I heard open. Let's see what now. It's a mess, yikes, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, eat a dick. What? Oh!
It was just you all along.
Wow, that's fucking grim. The defendant, Gordon Freeman, a 27-year-old theoretical physicist, shot the victim point blank with a Colt Python revolver, killing him instantly. The defense pleads insanity. The
Quality
defendant
content
has now
who?
been admitted
We don't
to
know
the
her.
Mexico Behavioral Health Institute. Right. But this is all just a nightmare, is it not? Perhaps there is more to this story. Yeah, okay.
I'm so
I'm on the
curious.
edge of my seat with that cliffhanger.
It's
Really hope there's a
Cromulent
sequel.
2. Have I not? I thought I played that map lab. One second, I'm gonna open up map labs and see if I've missed a bunch of map labs. There's so many map labs since I last played. I have a feeling the last time I played was when it was me, when I was the judge. I rarely join the map lab streams, so I wouldn't remember. Right, yeah. But Cromulantville 2 was one of the ones I played. I don't remember that map on Cromulantville 2. Maybe I never went to that one and played it. I don't know. Unless I never finished it. Maybe I never finished it. Maybe I played it but never finished it. I do not remember that map at all. Oh, we got another Jolly video. Pardon me. The dropper in Half-Life 2.
What? Yeah, what? Way? Oh, okay. Didn't even get to do my signature up there. We're in.
Immediately
We're
getting
in.
attacked.
And we're out. There we go.
Immediately did.
Great map. Combine didn't get me. I killed myself. So that's a victory for me. Alright. Okay, one more time.
Memory lane for
One more
map
time.
labs. Yeah, this one looks
got
actually. This one actually does look familiar.
Suicide is, I don't think, the answer.
Yes,
Oh,
I
boy.
remember this one.
Oh, boy.
Yes,
Oh boy.
it's a dropper map.
Definitely not the answer.
Oh, welcome back.
Fuck. What is going on though? What? You could give me a second or two to, process everything. No think, just jump. That's not good life advice, to be perfectly honest. Do think. Don't jump. Your life is important.
How loaded is it
Hey,
right
guys.
now? I'm thinking of posting something.
Okay,
I'm not sure. I've got
one side of
I
the
loaded
room
it
these
up
guys
last
can't
night.
Get to, which is nice. So I'm just gonna, hey buddy, come on, yeah, come over here. Ow. Don't hit me.
I loaded it up
Don't be a
last
dick
night, and it looked
that.
like there was a fair amount of stuff.
Okay,
but,
up here. Hi buddy.
You still probably got a good chance of me seeing
Fuck
it.
that. Oh,
Oh.
really? Really?
But I don't know how
That
much was
wasn't even
posted since
close.
last night, so...
That wasn't even close. Ah.
I really want to love
Man,
the
I
Half-Life
didn't
series,
save,
but
did
playing
I?
through 1 and 2,
Fuck.
I just wished for it to be
Oh,
over.
it auto-saved.
This is the hill I will die on. I'm sorry,
it
but not sorry.
auto-saved.
What?
Thank God for autosaves.
I can maybe understand it in Half-Life 2, but
yeah.
Half-Life 1 is so good.
Hey, buddy. Right. Do you guys know the way out of here? Can you guys help me out?
No, you gotta let the zombie get the fucking...
Ah. God damn it.
Let the zombie touch
God
it.
damn it. God damn it. Right.
There we go. Now go!
Hey.
Go!
Once it's not
What are you
me.
standing there?
Yeah, okay. And now I need to lead you into this
No,
one.
you don't. You don't need to
Can't.
lead him in there. You
Right.
can just go.
That works. And now
Oh my
I need
god,
to
just
leave.
go. He's gonna
Where
get
the
trapped.
fuck do I go?
He's such an idiot.
I've looked up and there's nothing up. There's that. That surely doesn't lead anywhere. There's got to be one of these. Has got to have like water in the bottom of it, right? Hint at the bottom, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna jump on this zombie's head, and it's gonna be hilarious. Boop. Okay, there's zombie goo. There's the hole. There's these barrels.
Let's see how much I got the
Maybe I drop the
GBA.
barrels, and whichever one makes a water sound effect is the one I want.
Game Boy Advance.
Let's try this. If it makes a splishing sound, then we know it's the right one. Splishing sound? Nope. Splishing sound? No. So no.
This is
no.
maddening. It's
Squishy
obviously
sound?
the space past the traps.
No. It's got to be that one. It's got to be this one. Yeah. You can see there's lights down the bottom.
Such an idiot.
Okay, what about this one? What about this one?
This is when he just went down. Wait,
Whoa.
what the?
Yo! Oh! Well, we figured it out. We figured it out.
I'm pretty sure you just
Okay.
go past the...
This one. Now,
Pretty sure you just
couldn't
go
make
past
up
the...
my mind, guys. Couldn't make up my mind. Left, right, I don't know. I'm just gonna go straight
The
down the center and
barnacles.
just smash my balls.
Isn't it in that corner?
Right on the concrete.
I don't know. I don't remember now.
Fucker.
I could have
I'm mad.
sworn you just go
I'm mad.
into that corner.
This one. This one. This one. Well, that was more luck than skill, and I'll fucking take it. Who cares? Who cares about skill? Skill's for people who don't have luck, and I have luck. So who needs skill? Not me. Oh, hey, okay.
That was
An
very
actual
lucky.
puzzle. That's a real nice change of pace. Save? I'm sure it auto-saved. I'm sure it's auto-saved. I'm
Just
so sure it's
save
auto-saved.
anyway.
But I'm gonna save because I'm not a fucking idiot.
I was gonna say.
Wait, hold on.
I think they need
I'm really
to be
not
touching.
sure this is the solution to my problems. But I'm doing it anyway because seems like what I should do. An even amount of weight on each one of these. Although, from what we've seen so far, this may not be the solution at all, and it may just be something stupid like, I don't know, throw one of these cinder blocks at the wall and have it fall down or something, or just
I
keep
can't actually
reloading
remember
a
what the
save
solution for this was.
till eventually shit
I think I
works
did
out.
prefer one, but it was just really
What am I
frustrating a
doing?
lot of
I'm just
times.
making,
with
I'm making little towers.
stupid and dumb and wacky puzzles and enemy
I'm having
placement.
fun. That's what I'm doing.
How dare.
Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. That was a
blasphemy.
bold-faced lie. That was a tuba lie right there. That was one of those, I'm paid to play this game. I'm having fun, guys. I'm having fun. You guys should download this. You guys should download this. If 5,000 of you download this, I get $500,000. You guys should go download this. By the way, after 4 hours is up, we're just going to quit no matter where we are in the game for no particular reason and go play something else. And definitely not because this is a sponsored gameplay segment, and I don't give two fucks about the game we're playing. Remove all the cinder blocks? No. That would be real stupid. That would be really stupid if it was just remove all the cinder blocks. Yeah, that was real stupid. I don't know why I thought that would be the solution.
Don't you stand on it as a player?
As me. Because I have no
and
fucking
you
idea.
like go
no,
into
actually,
the
that's
floor.
Not true. I've seen monkeys solve really complex puzzles. That's not me. Comparing myself to a monkey is doing a disservice to monkeys.
I actually cannot remember.
What
the
do I
solution
do?
to this at all.
What do I do? What do I do?
I definitely had a similar experience.
What do I do? What do I do? What is
with
this?
this part?
What do I do? What do I do? What
but
do
I'm
I
pretty
do?
sure the previous
What do
part
I
I
do?
got through it pretty quickly.
I'm just gonna keep putting these on here and hoping for the best. I'm gonna stack all of these up. Motherfucker! Goddamn gold. I was about to say gold source physics. Goddamn source physics. God damn it. Are you for reals? Are you? Okay, that's the thanks I get. I spend 20 minutes trying to sort that shit out, and the thanks I get is a hunter to the fucking face. You absolute dickbag. Whoever made this, you can eat a fat one. Not even sure what the solution was there, but we did it, and that's good enough. I'm done here.
That doesn't answer my question. What was the solution there? I don't remember. I don't remember what I did either, so it clearly is the map. It's fucking weird. Check out the latest episode of Animation vs. Minecraft. Oh. Alan Becker. Animation vs. Minecraft. This is definitely getting copyright claimed. Maybe it was frustrating because I'm an obsessive freak who loads save files every second because I lost a smidge of my health. That's exactly how I played the game. And I play it on hard difficult. Okay, so yeah, for those who have not seen it, because it was a long time ago that I did it, I played through Half-Life on the channel. But if you go back to those episodes and you listen to what I said, I mentioned the fact that back when I was a kid, I used to try and do basically no-hit runs of Half-Life 1. So I would quick save it, go through a section. If I got hit once by any enemy, I played on hard so that the enemies hit really hard. But if I would get hit once by anything, I would load the quick save and then do it again until I got through that whole section without getting hit. And then I'd quick save a post like battle or whatever. And then rinse and repeat for the whole game. I don't think I ever fully got through the entire game without getting hit once. I think there are a couple of sections of the game where you kind of have to get hit or get hurt a little bit. Charlie got stuck a lot on this map, yeah. Though he did attempt the solution that his chat made. Yeah, no, I'm the same. Obsessive freak who just loads. Yeah. Half-Life, but never getting hit. Yeah. But like, it wasn't like I would reset the whole game if I got hit. I just would do like short stints at a time. Quick save. I'd use the quick save feature. This is an interesting idea. You seen this video before? I've never seen it. I shouldn't get claimed that it isn't music, but no, but it's not about the music. I'm talking about a channel like this that does animations like this. They almost certainly will see, you know, they'll get the message saying, a channel has used your content. And then they'll just like claim the video. Even despite my opinions about Half-Life 2, it's just really nostalgic game to me. Maybe because of the countless Gmod bits and the game music, which I do really like. Right, yeah. Yeah. For me, when I replay the Half-Life games, like, if I have that experience, the experience I'll typically have, if I'm not having a super good experience, the experience I'll usually have is one of, I will love my time with Half-Life 1. I'll get frustrated in certain areas, but most of the time I'll be really enjoying myself. And Half-Life 2 I will get bored. Because, yeah, in Half-Life 2, I find some of the combat sections, some of the sections of the game, the swapping back and forth of gameplay mechanics won't be super, like, aren't super fun for me. I think the creator's called Alex. Yeah, Alex Becker. Alex Becker is the creator. 19 million subscribers. Damn. As someone who's been animating stuff in Unity recently, I know how difficult it can be to. Animation is hard. And so this is very impressive. Alan Becker, yeah. A little larger than they normally are, but... Just like, Jesus Christ. parodies are still a thing. But I won't search for it because I'm not 13 anymore and I don't listen to My Chemical Brothers and Avril Lavigne anymore. Lamal, yeah. Fair. Is this version of the what are they called, a Ravager? Is it from like Minecraft story mode or sorry, Minecraft the RPG one, is it? Sand Ravagers. Yeah, it's not an original Minecraft. I'm assuming they're from like the RPG or something. As long as there are children on their iPads watching them. Yeah. Oh, they're made for these animations? Okay. Right. Interesting. It's yeah. I didn't know that kind of thing was still being made. The rain just came out of nowhere. It's pouring really hard. Oh, right. Better than MCU. I don't know about that. I just watched the Into the Multiverse of Madness the other day. It was good. Yeah, I kind of wish it was raining where I am. It'd be nice. A parody of Nice Guys. Note, the song is not copyrighted, I promise. Okay. Since this channel doesn't seem to have a strike on it, or a copyright claim on it, I can trust you.
Dude, that geometry homework was so freaking hard.
Bro, but you know what's even harder? Getting girls, man. Oh. What's this?
So cliche.
Nice guys finish last, that's why I'll treat you
So much
like
especially when it's woman's side, yeah.
Not what I really wanna do. But you only date bad guys, so I'll give you my best try to treat you the way you want me to.
I'll never open the door or pull out a chair. You can tell me how your day was, but I don't really care. And if you ever get cold, you'll just have to hack it, cause I'd be cold too if I gave you my jacket. Like, whoa, you ain't sitting up front. Front is for the homies. You can
don't like my MCU. Yeah, one side motherfucker. There's still plenty of good Marvel stuff in here. I mean, the thing is, like, I wasn't put up with MCU until very recently. But I like liking things. I don't like disliking things. I'm just have cooler weather, thank God. Yeah. I mean, at the moment it's nice and cold here. It's getting nice and yeah. It was hot, but it's getting nice and cold here now.
Hell yeah, you do. Wait, let me speak your language. Cows go moo.
Thunderstorm is still here too. Not even if it's bad. Right, fair enough, yeah. Wear their backpacks with one strap with psychopaths? Holy, you don't know what you say. I wear my backpack with one strap. I always have. I have since I was about like there was some point when I was in junior high where I switched to having just one strap. It's so easy. It's so easy though to wear the. Wow. It's so easy to wear the strap with one shoulder. It's easier than two. David, you also wear it with one shoulder. To be fair, for a long time when I was in senior high, so for like at least 2 or 3 years, I think I had a regular backpack, and I still have a regular backpack that I wear when I go to work, and I wear it over one shoulder. But like for like a good, I think it was like the last 2 years of senior high, and then for like my entire uni, I had a laptop bag kind of bag, so it only had one strap, and it went over my shoulder. But like, yeah, for the longest time, I've always worn my backpack with one shoulder. Yeah. Welcome to the one strap backpack club. Yeah, that's we're all one strap backpack people here. All music. Oh, all the music for the game jam. This is the RNG's yeah, all the music RNG made for the game jam for like all the things. Push box. I have a backpack. I use both, but of course, with a laptop bag, it only has one strap. So yeah, that's this year's jam. I was gonna say, this was from last year, wasn't it? I don't remember this being in any of your. I was gonna say, because I remember you made the score for something that's not a jam thing. Yeah, this is from Lim Dare. Which one starts? Ubiquitous integrity. Okay. Oh, last year's Ubiquitous Integrity. I was gonna say, that sounds like the Waterline music. I was gonna say, I think this will be the one from this year. Oh, the story? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so that's the first music for Digis' game, and then this is when you're running around in the village in Digis' game. only hear 2 notes, the bass and the toot toot toot. I know these music. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then Fate. I'm assuming actually Open Your Eyes is what I thought. Where does Fate play? Oh, Fate will be the one where you're like choosing whether to open your eyes or not, I'm assuming. Ignorance is Bliss is the good ending. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I should say the ignorant ending, or the bliss ending, depending on whatever you want to call it. And then there's Open Your Eyes after this, which is the like bad ending, but also the like truth ending. Reminds me of Memory OST from Undertale. Right, yeah. Yeah, now this is the one, if you choose to open your eyes and see the truth, this is the one that sounds kind of like Silent Hill-esque. It's good. I did think this one was very good. It's really well done, this piece. And then, yeah, this music, which, honestly, the, Paging the Detective especially, but this one as well, stuck in my head the other day. I couldn't, it was just, because I've been working on the game just in the background. Anytime I have a little bit of free time, I, like, just quickly tweak a few things here and there, and, yeah. Yeah. This is the music from my game. And she did a great job given the zero direction I gave him. Yeah, I mean, that's like, for me, I was just like, the game is a dark fantasy sleuth noir detective game. So I want a chill, like, exploring song that's just some like real chill like coffee jazz, and then I want a song that plays when you're getting chased by the monster, and RNG made these 2 pieces from that. That's the entirety of the direction I gave him. This fucking Paging the Detective is so good. Yeah, I love the fact that it's you actually played the saxophone as well. It's so good. Bam! Bam! Never usually plays for this long, but it's so good. Yeah, so good. That's so good. And I was so grateful for the way it starts as well because of the. I was gonna say, I'm tempted once again to just really quickly. One second. By GBA, do you mean Game Boy Advance? It's the only thing I can think of. One second. We'll hear it. We will hear it. Give Unity a minute to launch. I should just leave it open all the time. Ah, nice, yeah. I've been collecting some like old school games and stuff. Because if so, that's cool. I'm also a collector of old classic video game stuff. We never had a Game Boy Advance, but my brother found a Game Boy SP. It was weird because, like, on the street that I live on, just above our driveway, like on the grass just above our driveway, my brother found an SP that had been just like abandoned. And I can speak Swedish. Oh, neat. They just found an SP that's like stupid lucky. Yeah. And it had what the hell was it? Dragon Ball. Was it Dragon Ball GT? It's one of the Dragon Ball games where it's one of those Dragon Ball fighting games where you're just like you choose a character and then you go like it's a one-on-one fighting game. That was already in it. And my brother, upon acquiring that SP, my brother bought a Pokemon game for it. I don't remember which one. But yeah. It didn't have a charger with it. We had to get a charger. It was just the SP with the game cartridge in it. I'll stop uploading my stuff as soon as I get enough shite together. Okay. Still Fred Lightning. Come out of nowhere. Right. I'm happy I met your expectations. Always. God damn it, it's taking ages. Why is it taking so long? Alright, we'll come back to it. But I'm trying to learn French. French, you say? A lot of GBA Pokemon games. Right, yeah, I don't know. I know the SP plays GBA games, doesn't it? Game Boy SP Pokemon games. It was definitely one of the mainline ones. But I honestly don't remember. It could have been like Leaf Green or Fire Red. I don't know. Whatevs. Let's watch this one. I became a member of the royal family. I almost watched this the other day. I almost watched this myself the other day. I'm not subscribed to Max Fosh, but his stuff comes up in my recommended.
If I found someone who could prove that they were part of the British royal family...
Her son was James VI, whose son was Charles I.
And then married them...
You may now kiss the groom.
That would, by marriage, make me royalty.
I've also got a journalist from the Daily Mail who'd want to write a story about the whole thing.
And as a royal, I would only want to do one thing before I got a quick divorce. Give my favourite kebab van...
Hi man, how are you doing?
...the royal seal of approval.
So, are you serious? Absolutely serious.
But there was one thing that I hadn't taken into account.
Your marriage needs to have lasted at least 1 year. I actually cannot get a divorce.
What the heck?
I need to find a member of the royal family who is willing to get married to me. Now, that is obviously quite a big job. There's also slim pickings of single royals. The Queen.
Oh, really?
The only other single royal is Prince Andrew.
No, it was a shooting weekend.
I've got a huge royal family tree up in front of me from 849 to the present. The British royal family is essentially made up of loads of different families.
Next year's objective was to make music for everyone.
There was the Plantagenets, the Lancasters, the Yorks, the Tudors, the Stuarts.
Custom
These
music
are all
for everyone.
families who were at one point kings and queens in England. It's just currently the Windsor family tree. So if I can find someone who's direct descendant from one of those families, they are a member of the royal family. I just need to marry.
Yeah, as soon as like no, you're drunk. As soon as he said that you are forced to do it, I was like, wait a minute. Chris says he was forced to do it. Chris is Finnish. You must be Finnish. Yeah, I've heard that. That's weird. that in Finland, your people are forced to learn Swedish for some reason, even though like only a tiny portion of the population is Swedish. It's weird. It's like Oprah but better because I don't have taxes. Yeah, yeah. Free music. You get a music. You get a music. Yeah. We're being oppressed. Help. Yeah, yeah. I'll let it finish proper. I mean, I love languages, so I'd love to learn them, but I'm terrible at remembering languages. At remembering vocab.
One of their descendants. Then I could legally call myself a member of the royal family.
If there was a YouTuber whose audience had connections to the royals, it would be mine.
And what's your name?
Jasper.
The Fosh Pit. So I went onto Instagram to ask if anyone had a relation to a member of the royal family. And it didn't take long to get all sorts of attention.
So, that was rather fruitful. I've got a gentleman called Will, who says that he's directly descended from Mary, Queen of Scots, and James VI. James VI, who was the father of Charles I, but I won't bore you with the details. And he says he's got the actual physical family tree. I then said, if you provide the proof, are you happy to marry me? And he said, yeah, go on then. I've also got a journalist from the Daily Mail who'd want to write a story about the whole thing. They just love
Swedish,
anything related to
but
the
I live in
royal
Sweden and my
family.
parents came from
with the
Bosnia.
proof
Oh,
in hand, it was time to meet
I see.
my knight in shining armor.
Interesting.
Well, my potential husband. Lovely to meet you, mate. How are we?
First
Do you want to learn
impressions were
Finnish? It's one mess of a
convincing as
language.
Will had bought
Like
the
the fourth
family
hardest
tree
language to learn, I
in
believe,
a
yeah.
Waitrose bag.
The proof. Yeah, that's
I was gonna say, that's the thing is there's a bunch of languages like that usually they use it from an English speaking perspective. If you come from a country where you speak English, there's like a rating scale of how difficult other languages are to learn. And I'm sure Finnish, I know Icelandic is like level 7. It's the hardest, considered the hardest language for English speakers to learn is Icelandic. But yeah, if you're a masochist, go ahead. I mean, the languages I chose to study are all up there in terms of difficulty. Spanish was the easiest of the list. I chose Spanish first, and then the next choice, Russian. So like suddenly jumping up to like difficulty like 4 or something like that. Then Japanese, which is difficulty 5, and then French, which is way back down to difficulty like 1. But yeah, I happen to choose weird languages frequently. Chinese. Apparently Chinese is easier than Japanese. Chinese is only difficulty 4, whereas Japanese is difficulty 5. And I know why now. Now that I've studied Japanese, I know exactly why that is. And then Chris kidnapped it just after he say that.
That is old enough.
And in that Waitrose bag was something incredibly valuable.
So, this is a book that's been in the family for how long?
Since 1798.
Oh my god.
These guys here, the High Stuarts are the Scottish royal family, the kings and the queens. And here she is, Mary, Queen of Scots.
Queen Mary was beheaded in England 8th of February 1586, which is true. And her son was James VI, whose son was Charles I.
Charles, yeah, he inherited the crown, but then James II got abducted during the Great Revolution. That's when we stopped.
So if it wasn't for Cromwell, you would be...
I would be special, yeah.
You're already special to me, Will.
And I wanted to make this special man my husband, so I had one more question to ask.
Icelandic is said to be the hardest.
I accept.
Fantastic.
The hardest language.
Luckily, I'm so glad you said that because I have already arranged the marriage and the person who is going to marry us. And it's going to happen today.
Today, okay. Good.
No time like the present.
Now, to get married, you must do it on the grounds of an approved site that has a license. So I got a qualified registrar to marry us whilst on the grounds of a local church.
Good morning, everybody. We're here today to witness the joining in marriage of Maximilian Arthur and William James. If any person here present knows of any legal reason why they should not be married, they should say so now. Our ceremony today, according to the civil law of this country, requires you both first to declare that you are legally free to marry, and then to state the contracting words that will unite you together as husband and husband. Do you, Maximilian Arthur, take William James to be your wedded husband?
I do.
Do you, William James, take Maximilian Arthur to be your wedded husband?
I do.
It gives me great pleasure to declare that you are now husband and husband. Congratulations. You may now kiss the groom.
That's the lengths he goes to. It's brilliant. Yeah, what I've heard from my Japanese lecturer, because I did Japanese at university. When I was studying Japanese, my Japanese lecturer also taught Chinese, and we asked her, like, what is easier, what's harder? She's like, oh, she's Japanese herself, but she's like, oh, Chinese, way easier. It's significantly easier. Yeah, remembering the characters is just having the memory to remember the characters is the hard part. Yeah, grammar, super easy. Pronunciation is a little tricky for English speakers, but, like, compared to Japanese, easy. In Japanese, you have to learn, like, 3 different writing systems, one of which is basically Chinese. In Japanese, you have hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Hiragana and katakana are like the classic Japanese phonetics, and kanji is basically just Chinese, except more complicated, with more readings, because you got the Japanese reading and the Chinese reading half the time. Yeah. Do you want to eat American food? So a lot of words are combinations of symbols. Yeah. Like, I believe the word for penguin in Chinese is business goose. The symbol for business and the symbol for goose is the word penguin in Chinese. I love that. Yeah, that's so brilliant. People in Sweden, to Finnish people, be like, "What are you why are you speaking our language?" Well, because they're forced to. I have this live streamer called Toasty Mush that is also French, but I don't want to learn it because of him. It's because I want to know what they're saying and talk to them. Right. Yeah. Gooses in suits, exactly. I love it. Dear.
I was a married man with blue blood coursing through my veins.
Would you like to sign the register?
Yes, I think I should sign the register.
Now, I have to admit that the wedding was slapped together quite quickly, and so I hadn't organised anyone to join me to be a witness. So, I needed to find one, and fast.
I need a witness. Excuse me, guys. Hiya. I'm technically getting married. Excuse me, mate. I've just got married. Would you mind being a witness? Would you be willing to be a witness? No worries. I've just got married. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've got married to a member of the royal family. No way. Yes way. So will you be a witness? Well, it's literally going to take two seconds. And what's your name?
Nina.
Nina, thank you so much. Right, not.
To your show at the Camden Club.
Thank you very much for coming. A member of the Fosh Pit, come to all the live shows, now helping me get married. What a story. Thank you very much.
Don't worry.
Thank you so much for being a witness. Come here.
Oh,
My darling husband. Oh, it just feels so good.
I love that it.
Right.
He actually got married
time.
legally.
Keen to follow as many royal traditions as possible, next up was the royal procession. Also, as a royal, I wanted to have my own title, so please say hello to His Royal Highness Max Fosh, Prince of the Scilly Isles.
She was on Twitch.
I might have to move there because everything we do is silly to the max, so join the Fosh Pit and subscribe. I wanted to do one thing as a royal, and that was to give back to my favourite food truck in London, Sim Sim. They go above and beyond for the Prince of the Scilly Isles normally by staying open past closing.
Hello, mate. You still open?
If somebody not you, I'm not gonna make it.
Giving free shawarma samples.
Ah, thank you.
And generally being fantastic blokes.
My man.
Hi man, how are you doing?
I'm very well, man. How are you?
Oh, sorry man.
So, I want to give them the royal seal of approval. But what is that?
Right, I'm talking a lot about royal seals of approval. This is actually a thing in the UK.
I decided to dig out some old tracks.
Every product
well, because someone else showed off their music. Fair enough. Fair enough.
used in the royal household has this little logo on it. So Mayo's got that. This Marmite has got that, and it says, "By appointment to Her Majesty the Queen." Basically says this product is bought by the royal family. This French mustard doesn't have it because we remember what the French did to their royals. So by me being a member of the royal family, I can give Sim Sim the royal seal of approval. Now let's give away some lovely shawarmas.
So we arrived back at Sim Sim, and I wasted no time before giving my first royal address.
Ladies and gents, as Sim Sim is my favourite food truck in London, I've decided to celebrate that. So for the next 20 customers, get their wraps and shawarmas for free.
And the crowd went bananas.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
On special occasions, I know it's important that all royals do one thing: mingle.
Have you ever had Sim Sim before?
I'm not. This is going to be my
This is your first
one,
time.
I'll do a bite on camera.
Thank you so much. Wraps are free today, so
Are you serious?
absolutely serious. God, big bite. I've married someone who's a member of the royal family, very technically, and so I'm giving Sim Sim the royal seal of approval. It's fantastic. One other happy customer for Sim Sim. You have chicken, lamb, halloumi. We've got everything here at the Royal Sim Sim.
That's great.
I'd like to announce that Sim Sim has the royal seal of approval.
Way too advanced.
Sim Sim, my favourite Middle Eastern, and that the scissors won't cut. If you've never had Sim Sim before, you're in for an absolute treat. The seal of approval. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much to everyone.
With the event a roaring success, my husband and I sat down for a honeymoon shawarma and to discuss our divorce.
My darling husband. Cheers.
With my mission complete, I now had a slightly awkward question for Will.
Can we get a divorce? Section A, is it an undefended case or a defended case? Are you trying to get me for loads of money? I mean, you're probably trying to get me for money. Oh yeah, probably am actually.
We signed the divorce papers, and with that, our short but happy union was nearly over.
Nice pen.
Thanks, mate.
Nice seeing you. You've done your shirt, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Darling, you're always nagging at me.
Now, this was supposed to be the end of the video, but upon arriving home, I discovered a slight issue with the...
Okay, one second. Falling behind. I think you Google, but yeah, I learned traditional as well. You're American now, you need to at least take 2 semesters of a language for most institutes. I didn't know that. Probably going to take Chinese next year. Yeah, fair enough. I was gonna take Chinese before I took Japanese, but the Chinese paper didn't fit in my schedule for that year, so I took Japanese instead, and I'm glad I did because I had a lot of good fun, made some good friends in Japanese class. Time to do the banana Rorius, or banana Rorius. Digits I can only know a few words in Spanish, but not really. Don't know anything. Right. Depending on where you live, Spanish can be what stops you from getting a job. Yeah, true, I suppose, in some areas, yeah. Love how the food truck guy is just going with it. Yeah, he's just like, all good. Quiero hablar español. No habla español. Yeah, I'm not going to say anymore. Although I know some Chinese words, I forgot how to write them. Oh, yeah, that would be me. I know Matty posted a lot of stuff, and he ain't even here. Yeah, Matty doesn't show up very often anymore. He'll sometimes show up at the start of streams, and he'll show up for the ones like TF2 and stuff like that, but he doesn't really show up for much else. He'd be lurking and come back when his stuff comes up, or else. I think he comes back post-stream sometimes. Like, he'll come back in the comments, and comment on a video that I've done something that's relating to him. Yeah, I think he's just busy. See, he's got a lot of like uni stuff that he does now, so I think he just typically is quite busy. Español es una lengua muy lindo, pero puede ser muy Complexivo. Complexivo. Not seen that word written like that. Gosh dang it, I think I screwed up the gender agreement. I was gonna say, something felt weird there. Mi amo es Polo. Yeah. Mi amo es Polo. And it's Polo, not Pollo, because you've got the single L. Here in Florida, you need Spanish. Yeah, yeah. Chris is dying from school. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people nowadays don't show up as much because they're just really busy, and I get it because I'm the same with some other YouTuber stuff. And there are other YouTubers that I used to watch all the time that I never watch anymore because I just don't feel like I have the time, or I use my time for other stuff. A lot of Spanish and French, you can kind of just tell what they're saying without needing to translate it. Because it's so similar, it's so close to English. Or English is so close to them, I suppose. Soy de Finlandia. Y yo es muy tonto. Muy tonto. And I am... nice. I was gonna say, because there's a lot of things many posted in a row, not too long before the stream started. Oh, okay. I see. I think I may have made it up. But honestly, a lot of Spanish words sound like English words, so you can just wing it most of the time. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the case. Oh, I forget what... So many words in other languages, I know them, but I just forget them. I have such poor memory. That was my problem. 90% of my problem with languages, when it came to learning languages, was just memory. I have atrocious memory. So just remembering all the words, I remember all the grammar. Grammar has like logic to it, so my brain can cling on to that kind of like logic. But when it comes to the actual words, it just goes straight out. As soon as it goes one in one ear, out the other, and I just forget it immediately. Only Spanish word I know is flaca, which means skinny. I always gotta scream it when playing Dead by Daylight. Okay. Complejo. Apparently. Ah. I don't think I've ever come across that word. Complejo. No te preocupes. Wow, that fucking accent, right? No te preocupes. Te es muy bueno. No more Spanish. I would use 2s since te is the rich reflexive pronoun. Right, yeah. Like I'll hide from the killer, and if they don't see me, I'm like, Flaca! I see. Más español. More.
Divorce papers. So, I've just come back up to the flat quickly just to go through the divorce papers again.
It's been so long since I studied Spanish.
Quite important that I hadn't quite realised before. In order to be able to officially get a divorce, your marriage needs to have lasted at least 1 year. I actually cannot get a divorce. I need to be married to him for a year. I think we can get an annulment though. So annulling the marriage is slightly different. Basically annulling the marriage is when there has been no consummation of the marriage. Bear with me because I'm just panicking just a slight amount. Hello mate. Oh, I should say darling. I've just quickly had a look at the divorce papers and it says that we can't get a divorce unless we've been married for a year. But don't worry, I've got a different plan. We can get an annulment immediately, as long as you can agree that we didn't consummate the marriage.
I'll use 2, but I had a 50-50 and chose wrong. That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
So if I send you those papers, could you sign them and get them back to me?
Yeah, I'll do it when I get back home.
Thanks, mate.
No,
okay, cheers.
Alright, cheers.
Bye. Yeah. Right, we're getting an annulment. And I think I've only been married for 43 minutes. It was fun being royal.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant. I do love my Max's videos. The things he does, some of the shit he gets up to is so funny. Yeah, I saw a video, not this video, pardon me, not this video specifically, but I saw some videos about this. I never really realized that how much people have come to dislike Hello Neighbor. I kind of just like, I played it, like I was playing it myself, and I was watching other YouTubers play it, and seemingly the people I was watching were enjoying the game, and I enjoyed the game, and I know it was weird and buggy and kind of a mess, but like it just seemed like I was like, oh yeah, that's just this game. It is a bit of a mess. That's fine. But people
overhyped
got
with a lot
really
of bugs,
angry about it.
frustratingly nonsensical puzzles, annoying parkour, and lore that's way too deep for its own good. This is What Went Wrong with Hello Neighbor, where we take a look into the decline behind
this
game
30 minutes
that
long. I
started
can't watch
off
the
with
whole
a
video.
promising concept that eventually turned into a bit of a letdown. I'm Wicked Wiz, being a man of my word and standing on my head. I want to give a massive thanks to my patrons who didn't snitch on me after I broke into this guy's house and stole all of his kiln. I played through all alphas of this game as well as the full release, so you don't have to. For a time, this game was very hyped. You may have noticed at some point between mid-2016 and 2017 that a lot of big content creators in the horror game genre would play this game called Hello Neighbor. But then all of a sudden, it just disappeared and people moved on to the next big thing. You might think it was out of boredom or something better came along, and in all honesty, that's part of the case. However, the true reason as to what went wrong lies deep within the game design itself. So let's take a look at the versions of this game and the final release. The concept of the game is pretty straightforward. There's this suspicious looking man next door with a big chin and a mustache, who's hiding something in their basement. But hiding what, you may ask? Well, that's where you come in to investigate. Break into this man's house, solve puzzles, find key items, pun intended, and open up his basement door. It's one of those cat and mouse type games, where there's this one big bad guy who you need to avoid for most of the time, sometimes confront, and put yourself at risk to figure out what the hell is going on. The AI of the neighbor is or was arguably one of the main selling points to this game. What makes this guy special is a combination of 4 different states. Typically at the beginning of the game, he's in an idle state. If he doesn't know you're in his house, he'll just go about his business. Watch TV, get food, work out, go to sleep, and so on. This is where you're the safest, of course, but if you knock something over or make a ruckus, then that's when he switches into hunt mode. In this mode, the neighbor will go to wherever you made the noise and assess the situation. Once he's confirmed that someone's in the house, he'll be looking for them. And if he finds you, he switches into attack mode. This is when you run, and you run like hell, because this guy will chase after you relentlessly. You can throw objects at him to slow him down, but unless you're well skilled at the game, you'll probably get caught and thrown out of the house. After he catches you, the AI switches into offline mode. As you can see on screen, there are all these little numbers. These are key points. If you were to, let's say, hide in this closet too many times, then the neighbor will most likely check that closet the next time round and you're done for. Better yet, he also leaves traps around the house in key points with a lot of activity. These can be bear traps, water buckets on a door, or he'll just straight up block an entrance and just set up cameras. This is your punishment for getting caught. Each time the AI gets smarter and your approach to entry gets harder. With that said about the game so far, you're probably wondering what the hell went wrong. If you are like me and only saw the massive hype for the game back in the day, then you'll probably assume that it was a big success, and to be honest, it was and arguably still is. This isn't just a game, it's more of a brand, a franchise, with a TV series, books, even board games coming out, as well as other games that may or may not be related to the main plots, such as this one where you just build vehicles for some reason, nothing else. It's just branded in Hello Neighbor. But to be clear, this video is focusing on the original Hello Neighbor, and oh boy, there's a lot to learn from what went wrong here. Initial development of Hello Neighbor appeared to start sometime between 2013 to 2014 by a Russian game company called Dynamic Pixels. Founded in 2004 with prior experience mostly in Tamagotchi-style games, with a portfolio largely centered around games like this, the jump to something more ambitious like Hello Neighbor is an important note to take into account. Yet it was clear that these guys had the capacity to build something truly unique, because sometime in 2014, multiple gameplay demos came out showing a very early concept of what appeared to be a break-in and enter style game system. Looking at the footage on screen right now, you can see that although there are no textures, the concept is pretty damn solid. You can see the player setting off distractions, breaking into the house, and eventually being chased by a maniac AI who will stop at nothing to catch you. In this demo, there's this moment that honestly sold the concept to both myself and most likely a lot of people. The player goes into a room and blocks the door, completely unsure what to do next, until this happens.
Oh shit. Oh my god. The T-posing neighbor is genuinely scary.
It's clear that there's something to get excited about here, and around 2 years later, we get a real taste for the game. In 2016, 4 alpha builds came out. This would be about the same time where the game would gain a lot of popularity, especially on YouTube, as Dynamic Pixels would give out a bunch of alpha keys to any YouTubers that would take them. The pre-alpha was released in September of 2016 and starts off with an intuitive introduction where you're facing your neighbor's house. The door is open, so your curiosity has already peaked. You enter the house and nobody's home, but you see a light coming from a door. So of course, you go over to it and you get caught. Now, personally, I love it when a game doesn't tell you where to go with waypoints and stuff like that.
I didn't actually know they were Russian
for a
either.
sense of investigation, and you're essentially driven by curiosity. However, we'll see later where that becomes a lot more of an issue. In this case, the objective has already been made clear, with the open door, the light from the basement, and an introduction to the main antagonist, only to leave you outside, intrigued, and ready to break in.
Yeah, my
Although
name
when
isn't
you finally figure
from
out
New
how
Zealand.
to get into the basement, it's just a blank room void of any wizards. Not to mention the game was also buggy, but then again, this is
my
just
name
a
isn't even from the
pre-alpha, and the overall
cultures my
concept
family
was
comes from.
very interesting to explore.
My name's
Only a
Irish.
month later, on the 26th of October, Alpha 1 was available, and to be honest, it was very similar to the pre-alpha, just with less bugs. However, I did still manage to get the neighbor stuck in my house, and struggled with the physics. But even then, it was still fun. This time, the game starts off with a cutscene, where your invisible self is driving down the road to your new house. But then it cuts to your nefarious neighbor who already has their suspicions about you. Before even starting the game, you already know something is up, and once you get out of your car, you'll notice a piece of paper with tasks to complete. Turn on the power, move stuff in, and sleep. This is essentially a tutorial to help you learn the main mechanics. And once you go to sleep, you immediately wake up looking straight towards your neighbor's house. So of course you go in. Now for some reason I didn't go through the door because I thought that that would be a bit too obvious. Instead I looked through the window and saw the neighbor just chilling on his couch, watching pure static. I break into the house and quickly hear the neighbor coming after me, and well, this is weird. Eventually though I get caught. And then there's this cutscene where we see the neighbor going into his basement, which somehow looks and sounds like a busy road. I mean, a fucking tire just came out of there. What the hell is in this basement? Comparing this intro to the pre-alpha where you have to first enter the house and you see a light coming from the basement, this right here already feels like more of a downgrade in storytelling than anything else. Cutscenes are great and all, but this seems a bit too obvious and doesn't really rely on guiding the player towards the main goal by natural means. Once you figure out that you need a crowbar to get rid of these nails and a lockpick to unlock the door, you can finally see what's inside, but then the neighbor closes the door on you, catches you, and buries you alive. So all in all, this is a great start. We've got a promising concept with great mechanics that only really need a bit of polishing and a little bit of story on the side. But I wouldn't be making this video if things didn't turn for the worse, and this brings us on to Alpha 2, the beginning of the decline. Alpha 2 came out a month after Alpha 1 on the 22nd of November, and it was different. First of all, we now have a player model, which isn't much of an issue, but the hand does seem to get in the way and it kind of sticks through these closets. So overall, it looks a little bit unfinished, but then again, this is an alpha. For some reason now, picking up items is a press and hold action, which really sucks when you're trying to run away from this jackass.
I didn't like that
Movement
either.
somehow feels a bit more janky, but now you can vault through windows in a sort of animated way. That is when it actually works. But hey, this is still an alpha, so who am I to be so critical at this point? I didn't really notice why until I looked back at the footage, but Alpha 1 had a different feel to it. And I think that's largely due to the intensity of the art style. From slightly Tim Burton to a more zany cartoon aesthetic, it kind of turned less into a horror game and more of a goofy playhouse. But this is me just being petty at this point, because things really start to take a turn for the worse about a month later with the next alpha release. On the 22nd of December, Alpha 3 was released. It's now constantly nighttime and the house is bigger. That's cool, right? Bigger house means more to explore. Well, yes, but please don't do it at the expense of the neighbor's AI. The ground floor is where you need to be the most careful, because the neighbor can actually catch you there. However, there's this gate at the top of the stairs, which once you figure out how to get behind it, it makes the whole game, at least in this area, completely neighborless. Although this issue does get resolved in the final release, it still didn't really make too much sense. Now remember, it only took them a month to get to this point since Alpha 2. It felt like they just made the house bigger and kind of forgot about the neighbor, which is a worrying sign to see, especially in this phase of development. And I like to think that this was the beginning of Dynamic Pixel's neglect for the AI in favor for parkour. The platforming in the previous alphas weren't any better, but here it's like parkour suddenly became the main aspect of the game. This was slightly more of a thing in Alpha 2, but it's clear that this is the direction they're going in for this game. It's not the worst idea. Platforming can be rewarding and can help to open up more options of entry when trying to break into this guy's house. But the game is so buggy that trying to make this jump, for example, takes multiple annoying attempts.
Yeah, that was really
either
hard.
Bump off of something and accept your fate, or slightly miss the jump because there's no way of changing direction in midair. This is also where I started to notice an issue that will become more prevalent later down the line. This game relies heavily on exploration. To find key items in order to open the basement door or gain access to other areas, you need to explore as much as you can. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but after about 10 minutes running around trying to find items that I'm not even too sure if I need or not, the neighbor became less of a formidable foe and more of an annoyance. And when you mix this with parkour, it only becomes a lot more frustrating the longer you play. This was only the start to what we'll soon see as probably the most nonsensical, frustratingly convoluted puzzle system you'll ever find in a game. And overall, even though this game seemed to be making progress quite quickly at that, the quality of it would start to decline, and I wouldn't even bring this up if this didn't become an issue later. Things don't get any better because next year, on the 4th of May 2017, Alpha 4 was released. This, in summary, was just exhausting. Think Alpha 3, but somehow worse. The main selling point, as I've said before, was the neighbor's AI. He had different traits like idle, attack, and offline.
That's what seemingly most people who have a problem with Hello Neighbor, this is their main concern, is that initially the selling point of Hello Neighbor was the neighbor's adaptive AI and everything. That quickly became less of the selling point, and the story, the story of like what's in the basement, there's weird secrets and paranormal stuff, and yeah, that became more important to the developers. To us, milk is basically holy, so we have lots of variations. And what is coffee milk? Why, car fuel, of course. What else would it be?
while setting traps. Now it seems that ever since I triggered him for the first time, he's constantly in hunt mode. Although this still wasn't really much of an issue because he's still just a ground floor enemy. I mean, I'm stuck here on this ladder just shooting pellets at him constantly because he can't do anything about it. Not to mention, the house seems bigger. There are more rooms to explore, with the outside looking just as wacky as the inside. This means more platforming, more falling off of stuff, more of these terrible physics, the list goes on. At some point, it feels more like a box stacking simulator than anything else. The puzzles didn't get any better either. It felt like they were adding a lot of random stuff that didn't really need to be there, or things that were way too cryptic to understand without having to read into all of the lore. It just paled in comparison to Alpha 1. When it comes to the puzzles, let me give you an example. I made it into this room and found the crowbar that you need to take off the nails off of the wooden planks for the basement door. But it's hot, so you need to pick it up with a magnet. And what you need to do is find a way to cool it down. And if you've messed around with the taps in the bathtub, you'll know that there is running water in this game, so surely that must be a way for you to cool down the crowbar. Now, I swear to God, I put this crowbar in a bath and ran the water for ages. So I thought, well, maybe I have to do something else. Maybe there's another item that I need, but I don't really know what it is. After looking around in multiple different rooms, trying to figure out what the hell to even do with this crowbar, I gave up and I looked for a guide. And it turns out that I need to find a water bucket and fill that water bucket up with the same water from either the shower or the taps that I was trying to use earlier, to then sprinkle the water on the crowbar and cool it down. I mean, I understood what to do, but clearly I was doing it the wrong way. Even worse, I found this room with a giant magnet. It's in this hidden room up here, and the moment you enter, anything that you're holding which is metal sticks to it, including the fucking crowbar. So then I had to figure out a way to turn it off so I can get my crowbar back and also get this green key that's stuck to it. This puzzle drove me absolutely insane because I honestly didn't want to have to use another guide again. I wanted to figure things out for myself. So I went downstairs to turn the power off, thinking that might work.
This is one of those games that there's no shame in just using a guide to make your way through it, because it is such a... it's so convoluted in some areas.
And no, it doesn't. Was it powered by these generators that I found around the house? Well, I turned all of those off and yet again, nothing. So after about 30 minutes running around the whole house, I did it again. I looked it up and... oh, it turns out you have to make it onto the roof by stopping this train at a specific point, then jump on this pipe, then jump on the train to eventually get to the roof and throw something into this hole full of gears. Now, how on earth was I supposed to figure that out by myself? I'm sure there was another way, but I just couldn't find it. Look, puzzles are fun to complete. The achievement
I remember
is
having to jump on the train.
There has to be some sense
and I only knew to do that because I
for
saw
example,
another
could have had
YouTuber
a
do
wire
it.
that leads to the power source. Something subtle yet noticeable. That genuinely could have been enough to figure out where it leads to go, instead of having to run about scratching your head pressing all these different buttons. The challenge with the magnet was trying to figure out not only where the power source was, but how to get there. And the fact that I can just drop a box into these gears and it will completely screw the whole system doesn't really make much sense. It also turns out a lot of people had the same opinion about these puzzles. Although not every puzzle had this issue, the general impression was that the developers made these puzzles as convoluted and as confusing as possible in order to make the game deep and give it a longer playtime. This may not be the official reason, but it damn well seems like it. There are also these mini games that I honestly tried to avoid, one of which involved parkour, and after nearly making it to the top only to get stuck inside a box out of my own curiosity, I decided to just finish the game and go into the basement. The basement now looks very different and there's this platform that you need to jump to. Turns out after a couple of attempts I was missing something. So with zero fucks to give, I looked it up online and oh yeah, turns out I need to do that mini game to get a double jump ability. I didn't know that there were abilities in this game at all. This is the first time hearing about it. And I guess the first time you figure it out is when you do one of these mini games. So I completed the mini game and went back downstairs to the basement. Making it through there was slightly annoying because the neighbor is now down there with you, but eventually I made it out. I started off this video with high hopes, thinking that the game can't be that bad, that not much could have gone wrong because we're not even at the final release yet. yet. Alpha 1 and maybe 2 were considered to be the best versions of the game, period. But this now brings us onto the full release, and it's really not the best. On the 8th of December 2017, the original Hello Neighbor was released on Steam for around $30. Before this, there were beta versions of the game, but to be honest, it was very similar to what we've already seen.
I don't think I played any of the betas.
Received by a lot of fans, but it was
I saw
clear
people
that
playing
this
them, but I never
wasn't
played them
the
myself.
most polished game. The game is now split up into 4 acts. The impression that I got from this is that Act 1 is regarded as the best, while the acts afterwards become progressively worse. And I couldn't help but agree when playing it for myself. Act 1 has you starting out as a kid who looks about 30, kicking a ball down a street. You run towards the ball, and then a cutscene happens where you see something going on in your neighbor's house. And it ends with him placing a red key on a blue table in a room upstairs. The house in this act is relatively small, similar to Alpha 1 and 2. The neighbor follows his typical AI path, and I'll be honest, I had a pretty good time exploring the place. I knew exactly where to go, and there was just the right amount of platforming. I didn't really notice any bugs, and figuring out how to actually get into that room isn't all too difficult. There are a couple of puzzles, but once I figured out how to get this wrench, which you need to open up the ladder in order to get onto the roof, I made it through this hole, landed in the room, found the red key, and managed to make it into the basement. But from this point onwards, things start to slip, and this game becomes more of a chore. When you get into the basement, at first things look normal, but you'll quickly find out that this washing machine is actually a door that leads into a room.
I agree with the game, trying to make a game longer, but for my mod, I decided I wanted my puzzles to be so abstract. I didn't want my puzzles to be so abstract and have such convoluted solutions that it causes frustration, anger, and dissatisfaction. Exactly. That's the problem, is that there is a fine line between a puzzle being so abstract that you have no idea what you're doing and making a puzzle too easy. So, it is a difficult balance to do that. And I think the developers for Hello Neighbor just went too abstract. I think that's why people like the first level, because the first level is the easiest level, and it's the most logical. Like, you can see what you need to do. You know there are areas like that. There are areas around the house that you can get to, and so the goal is like find the red key is what you need, and you can kind of follow pieces around and see like, oh, to get to this thing you need this like key card, or you need an item, you need a crowbar, a wrench, whatever. And to get the wrench, you need to do this other thing. You'll see the wrench somewhere in the house, and it needs something else to get to it. And there's like this you can nicely see this little line of progression of how to do the puzzles. But then by the final act, by the second to last act, actually, the third act, by Act 3, you're in that huge mansion of a house where you can't see everything. There's so much space. There's so many rooms. And it's such a confusing mess of a building, like with no clear normal doorways to anywhere, that to find the pieces you need, it's all about finding the pieces that you need, and to find them sometimes requires such ridiculously abstract solutions that people just resort to stacking boxes. I don't think there's any way that you actually have to stack more than a couple of boxes, but you can get over puzzles by just stacking like every box in the house in an area and then leaping over a gap or getting up a space. Because that's like, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to get around it, that seems like the only solution. Yeah.
Once you figure out how to break out of this room, you'll find yourself in this dark maze. The maze part
Act 2
wasn't all too
too
bad.
Yeah,
the
it's
neighbor's
fine.
down here with you, so it makes it a bit more difficult. But it wasn't all too difficult to get through. It was just more annoying than anything else. Once you finally make it out of this maze, you're in this hallway. A cutscene starts and you realize the neighbor is right behind you. So now you're running away from the neighbor through this hallway, only to get to the end and realize that the exit requires 3 keys to make it through the door. Then you get caught, and now it's Act 2. This is where the game becomes more frustrating than anything else. You wake up in the same room you found before, And once you get out of the basement, you quickly find out that you're trapped on this guy's property. The house is bigger now, and for some reason, the neighbor seems to patrol his garden more often than the house, which leads to me getting caught and having to see the same goddamn animation over and over again. I tried to figure out what to do for ages in this part, and I had a feeling that these pipes all around the house had something to do with the objective. With no surprise, it turns out they're all a part of some convoluted way to open up the gate to this massive trampoline of which you need to jump over the fence with. For some reason, you need to turn on all these levers to increase the pressure in order to get this handle, and it somehow just pops off because there's too much pressure, even though that's not really how handles work. Then you need to figure out where to put this handle and do a whole bunch of other stuff, and there you go. Somehow that opens up the gate and
I didn't
you
escape
can get
through
out
the
of the house.
trampoline.
But instead, I opted for parkour because at this point I'm getting pretty good at it, so I legit use a speedrunner strat to jump over the fence. Whilst getting out of the house, there's this cutscene with a really awkward camera angle for a brief second where you see
didn't
yourself
use the trampoline
back
when I
into
exited.
your house. This now brings us on to Act 3, and this is where the story goes from quirky to downright insane, and you'll soon see why. We're now much older and struggling from a crack habit, leaving us out of pocket to pay the bills. So you pack up, leave, and return back to your old house.
See it next time.
The neighbor's house is totally wrecked, and after seeing shadow demons from your
Conundrum,
crack
yes.
withdrawal, you go back home and
That
sleep
is
on
the-
your crusty couch.
that
Then
is
you
the
wake
Portal
up,
not Portal
only to
game.
see
That's
that the
good.
neighbor's house is back and even more wacky than before. Similar to Alpha 4, I'm gonna have to do a lot of platforming, try and figure out puzzles without having to bring up a guide for the 15th time, and not only find a key for the basement, but also keys to mini games which I need to do in order to gain special abilities. In total, there are 3 mini games to complete, and each of these give you a special ability that are required to proceed to the final act. There's one that we've seen before where you do parkour in a pantry. This gives you the double jump ability. Another one where you have to go through some warped grocery store and collect the same items that these glitched out mannequins have. Honestly, the only challenge here is to make sure you collect the right items and not glitch into the shopping cart. Not to mention, it's really awkward trying to put even your pickles in the cart because for some reason the physics likes to bug out and you have to kind of aim in a certain position to try and get things in there properly.
This
Also,
was a
the
very
special ability
confusing.
from this is some weird static whenever you crouch, which honestly you only need to use once within the whole game. And the last mini game has you running through a school trying to hide from mannequins yet again. At the end of this mini game, you get the ability to push. All in all, the mini game somehow felt less finished than the rest of the game. There are also these nightmare scenes that happen every now and then once you get caught by the neighbor. They act as a way of telling the story, but of course, because this is Hello Neighbor, they do it in a very cryptic and mysterious way, where you essentially go through a walking simulator and, I guess, get glimpses at the neighbor's past. There's not too much to say about them. I mean, go on a roller coaster and knock this cardboard cutout of a girl into the abyss. I mean, that's the most amount of entertainment I got out of them. Anyway, after completing the mini games and unfreezing the key card from the freezer, I made my way down to the basement, and this is honestly where it feels like
a few of those puzzles you can actually do in multiple ways. Pretty sure you can turn off the fridge.
To get past him, you simply just crouch. Remember the static ability we picked up earlier? This is the one time you need it. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can still hide from this guy without that ability. All you've got to do
I don't think
is
I even
simply
used that
crouch,
ability.
move forward a bit, and then he just walks away, and then disappears at the end of the hallway. Then you need to make it through this lit up room and double jump over the fence. It's so awkwardly positioned that it doesn't feel like that's what you're meant to do, but that's pretty much what you're meant to do. Funny enough, on my first try without the double jump ability, I managed to get over the fence just by glitching out this
It's just
chair.
really
But when I opened the
huge.
door, the neighbor
That's
got
what I was
me
talking about
because
before.
This is where you need to, I shit you not, push him back. Like you could never do that before as a full-grown adult. Also, wait a minute, did you just see that? Let me just freeze this frame right here and let's have a look at what we see. We have
I don't
one
remember
hand,
that.
two hand, and apparently a third hand. When I say this game feels unfinished and unrefined, these are the little things
the
that I'm
chapter,
talking
the
about.
Act
After all of
3
this, you make it down a hallway,
house
and now
is
you're in a house
huge.
with a giant neighbor looking at you. He smashes the house.
Actually,
and
I kind of
what
liked
the
Act 4.
actual hell is going on? Let's
This-
assess
this-
the situation.
this
We're
act is
currently
weird.
in an endless white void with a giant neighbor who does nothing to defend himself. himself. And trust me, I threw this box at his sack and still nothing. I'm gonna sum up this whole area in one word: platforming. No spooky neighbor coming
I
after
like
you,
3D
no
platforming
real
though.
threats, just the fear of falling and having
That's
to
the difference
climb
with me
all the
is
way back
I
up
like
again.
weird
After setting off
platforming.
a firework in his face, shooting balls at his kneecaps, and firing a toy arrow at him, I can now make it onto the house that is on his back. Apparently I couldn't really do this before, even if I got right up to the top of the map and tried to just float down with my umbrella because there are invisible walls in the way. After making it on his back and getting into the house, if you thought that what we just went through was lackluster at best, then get ready for this. You now have to protect your younger self from a giant shadow demon. And it's a get to this point before the NPC does sort of thing, where you just stand in front of yourself to protect him from this big shadow demon, where each time you do this you grow bigger and slower, until you grow so big that the house you're in explodes and boom, you beat the shadow guy because you're big. I guess height does matter. And once you make it out of the final door, you wake up. Yeah, all of Act 3 and the finale was just a dream. So all of that for nothing, I guess. I wasn't all that invested in the story, but this just felt like a punch in the balls to me. If anything, it was a representation of the absolute hell I went through to make this video. So smash like for my sanity, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I don't mind. Like, people hate the dream ending kind of ideas, but I actually don't mind dream ending kind of stuff, because it, like, the fact that it was a manifestation of his childhood fears. That was the whole point of it. But like, yeah, that Act 3 house did not need to be that big and convoluted. The rest of the game is actually fine. If not a little bit buggy and messy because it's like a physics game. But I actually did not have a problem with most of the game. The issue the issue I would say that the game has is that its Act 3 is so big. It had no need to be that big. Or if it was going to be that big, make it a little bit more straightforward to navigate. Because navigation is a mess in that Act 3. Flame through the freezer. I'm pretty sure you can just turn the power off to the fridge and it will melt. You just turn the power off and then you just leave it for a while, and when you come to it later, it'll just be melted. There's a switch you can pull that turns off the power. The Amnesia game, especially Dark Descent, are also really good puzzle games. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those games are good and they have puzzles that aren't so ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. Damien, please. I was interested in the video. I can watch it however long I want to watch it. Just being salty, please. Anyway, play this. Was Half-Life 2 better on day one? Oh, I never played Half-Life 2 on day one. I didn't play Half-Life 2 until 4 years after it came out.
Recently, with the help of my friend Wolfclock, I got my hands on a digital copy of the collector's edition of Half-Life 2. This includes the day one release builds of Half-Life 2, Counter-Strike Source, and Half-Life Source. In fact, the build of Half-Life 2 was actually compiled on September 29th, 2004, over a month before the game's launch date, so it's technically a negative 48th day build. Anyway, being the giant nerd that I am, I was super excited to play through the original build of Half-Life 2 to see what's so different about it. Over the past 15 years, loads of changes have been made to the Source engine and to Half-Life 2 itself through the Orange Box update, and the Steam Pipe update, and Lord knows what else. Textures and models that got revamped or updated in Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2 were backported, particle effects have been changed, player movement has been patched, and so on.
The version that I played didn't have the backported models.
What's different? What's better? What's worse? Was Half-Life 2 better on day one? Well, kind of. You'd have to be a real Half-Life freak to notice most of the changes, and there definitely isn't a clear-cut objective answer to a question like this. But overall, the game is just a little bit more immersive.
I find it interesting that Mecha says that, because Mecha, you usually post your Dead by Daylight stuff. That's very...
They hit the ground faster, harder, while in the later builds they're kind of floaty and slow to drop. 357 kills really send enemies flying,
Dead by Daylight stuff.
Overall, I'd say that killing NPCs feels generally more satisfying in the original version. Second, the atmosphere of the canals seemed foggier and more dense. I'm not really sure if anything is actually different about
Yeah,
them.
YouTube
Might have
algorithm
just been
can be like
gaslighting
that
myself,
sometimes.
But the water hazard and root canal chapters felt a lot more immersive in the moment. I'll have to look more into it later. Third, the files for the day one build are not encrypted at all, which means modding this version of the game is a lot easier.
Super
since you don't have to
easy.
use GCF
It was so
to
good back
access
in the
game's
day.
assets, which is a giant pain in the ass. And finally, you know how a lot of people have a bone to pick with Half-Life 2's weapon sound design? Well, I think it might have possibly been gimped in a patch at some point. On this day one build, the SMG and pistols sometimes sounded way beefier to my ears. Wolfclock said this might have had something to do with the files being more heavily compressed and bringing out the bass more, but I don't really know. Either way, something was definitely different about them, and I would definitely say they sounded better in the day one build. Before I get to the bad things, let's talk about the mixed bag. Stuff that some people might like and some people might hate. First things first, the day one build uses specular mapping instead of Fong. This means that the reflection on your guns will sometimes look much different. In my opinion, it was a real hit or miss. Sometimes everything looked great and I wondered why Valve ever changed the system, and sometimes it looked like everything was coated in grease and oil. Second, the day one build of the game has different fire particles. Personally, I prefer them. I think they're a little bit moodier. But since they are a lower frame rate than what runs in current Half-Life 2, I can see how some people might feel differently. Ultimately, up to personal preference. Third, this version of the game is totally unpatched in regards to player movement, which means that bunny hopping is easier, but accelerated back hopping isn't possible. There's a reason that old engine Half-Life 2 and new engine Half-Life 2 were split into different speedrun categories. Player movement between the two is just flat out different. And finally, the old Vortigaunt textures. These puppies were redone in episode 1, and their textures look much grittier and nastier. These original textures fit the ragtag and dirty nature of the Resistance better than the new ones, I suppose, but they also look really fucking weird. Once again, it's up to personal preference. Anyway,
I like those
with that out of the
original
way, let's get to the
textures.
bad. This is the stuff I thought was worse on day one than in the modern build. And there's more than you might
The
expect.
version of Half-Life 2
For
I played was
starters,
the
Scout
PS3
car
one.
controls
It
like
didn't have
shit.
backported models.
Maybe it was something I was doing wrong. I mean, the Mudskipper segment felt fine, but I found it harder to steer the car, and it made the Highway 17
I've always
chapter
found the
a lot
car
more
hard to
annoying.
steer.
I even, for the first
honestly.
time in my life,
Even in
missed
the
one of the
modern
dramatic
Half-Life
stunt
2.
jumps.
No! Oh, I'm gonna kill myself.
Second, for some reason my mouse input felt weird and kind of jittery. Like if I drag my mouse directly to the left or right, it would slowly notch up or down as well. I don't know how to properly describe it, and while it wasn't a huge game-breaking problem, it was noticeable and hurt the experience just a tad. So yeah, mouse input was a little bit strange and I didn't like it. Third, node graph out of date rebuilding. Node graph out of date rebuilding. Node graph out of date rebuilding. On every single level. Fourth, there's no visual indicator for which Combine soldiers or
remember that.
shotgunner troops.
Even on the
They all have the
PS3
same
version.
textures. The shotgunner variant textures were added in episode 1, and I think they were a great inclusion because it helped with reading combat encounters a lot. It's harder in this version to tell at a quick glance who's gonna pepper you with Nerf darts and who's just gonna walk up to you and bow, bow, bow. So in that regard, I think the latest build takes the cake. And finally, there were some visual glitches I occasionally encountered throughout the day one build. Water glitched out a couple times. Sometimes these weird long black or dark gray sheets would just appear from thin air, and sometimes the game just generally looked a little bit fucked up. And while these were few and far between, it is a sign of a rougher and jankier product. But with all that out of the way,
Then game came
was
around and said,
Half-Life 2
"Oh
better
no."
on launch than it is
The
nowadays.
files became encrypted.
Well, I hate to be a fence sitter, but I feel like while the atmosphere of Half-Life 2 was definitely more cohesive in the original version, the new builds are undeniably better polished experiences, and the gameplay feels more refined. They both have strengths and weaknesses, but at the end of the day, I think I'd still recommend people play the Steam version over the original. If someone can find a way to port the old Fire into the modern build, though, I'd love to see that. But if you're a Half-Life 2
I'd like to see them
fan like
side by
I am,
side.
I highly recommend you give the day one build a try yourself. It's an interesting and slightly surreal experience. Gives you a better idea of the experience Half-Life 2 offered to people back in the day. Anyway, thanks for... Oh, what's that? Oh, right, I almost forgot. Half-Life 2 Collector's Edition also comes with Counter-Strike Source and Half-Life Source. So, what was different about these other games on launch? Let's have a quick look. Counter-Strike Source, as it came packaged with that.
I don't really care about this. I want to see Half-Life Source.
I strongly people still hosting high latency, still saying I don't have to choose models. The original play on Steam pretty much second favoritation as a broken downgrade to the original, and it's earned. However, after booting up Half-Life Source as it launched on day one, It was increasingly apparent to me. This game got fucked by updates. Yeah, there are occasionally some kinda shiny floors, but they're nowhere near as egregious as the freshly mopped, sopping wet ones that appear in the modern build. The lighting and shadows look nice, or at least much nicer than in the retail build, and the animations seem to be working fine too. No one's floating above their chairs 5 feet in the air. It's not perfect, there's still some visual clash between the Half-Life 2 assets and the Half-Life 1 ones, but in every regard I can think of, this version of Half-Life Source is objectively better than the Steam version. That being said, you should still really just play the original.
Yeah, just play the original Half-Life. I never play the Source version.
Altogether,
so that's why I was curious to see what it was like in the original build. Get trolled, Minecraft cheaters. Ooh.
This guy right here is trying to use cheats in a player versus player game mode in Minecraft. He thinks he just activated God mode, invisibility, and all kinds of other unfair advantages. There is just one problem. The
Terminator
cheat
wearing
software he's
Crocs.
using is programmed to backfire and punish any cheater who tries to use it. I'm about to show you how I baited hundreds of cheaters to
Nerdcraft
download
out of
my
date,
fake
rebuilding.
cheat, and how it punished them with everything from shooting themselves with their own bow to trapping them in a
Counter-Strike
massive
Source is
toilet
not one of my main
and a bunch of
interests.
other
I was
fun
much more
surprises.
interested in Half-Life
But
Source.
before I explain how I pulled this off and show you the clips of cheaters getting wrecked, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor who made this video possible. Opera GX. I am your favorite pause. The concept channel I have simple. I develop a software that looks like a real cheat. I then create a website where the cheaters can download it. I then pay for Google Ads to show my website when someone is searching for cheats on Google. And then finally, I make a video for you to enjoy, showing clips of the cheaters getting trolled by the bait software. And like the good boy that I am,
Nice.
I check the comments on my previous videos to see what games you guys wanted me to do next.
Think about Half-Life I was
Oh
ended up
boy.
stuck on corners, right.
My first reaction was like, are people
I
cheating?
don't remember that in the
Minecraft?
original Half-Life.
After doing some research, I was
Being stuck
surprised
on
to
corners?
find that there are in fact thousands of
Or
people
do you mean the
searching
Source
for
version?
Minecraft cheats every single day on Google. In Minecraft, you have servers with game modes like Sky Wars, Bed Wars, where facing a cheater can be just as frustrating as facing one in your typical shooter game.
Oh no, I haven't played the
tried my
deleted
best
scenes.
to target
I've heard
these
about that,
cheaters and make it
but I
seem
haven't
like the
played.
fake
I haven't
cheat only worked in game modes
played it.
like that. To make it believable, I added an in-game cheats
Ugh.
menu that will make it seem
I got
like
kind of
it's
a headache.
actually working. This option will disable the damage animations and make it seem like the health bar is always full, but he would actually lose life and die just like normal, just not being able to see it until it was too late. This option will hide the cheater's player model, but it would only work on his own computer. Everyone
Right.
else could still see him.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the fun stuff. Let's watch this cheater try to use it in Skywars, and I will explain each punishment as they are activated. Whenever the cheater tries to use bow, it will automatically start shooting arrows straight up in the air. As you can see, using the bow was not very successful for this guy, but we're not done yet. He decides to change his tactic and tries to build his way to the second base, but I have another surprise waiting for him. Whenever the cheater is sneaking for more than 3 seconds, the prevention from falling off blocks gets disabled. If you're confused about
Holy
what
crap.
just happened, let me explain. When you play Minecraft and you hold the shift key, your character will move slowly and the game will prevent you from falling off the edge of the block you're standing on. This punishment basically disables the magic force that keeps you from falling off a block while sneaking. Whenever the cheater
That's
is
so
diving
rude, but
underwater,
perfect.
he will sink like a stone and he can't get up again. This next punishment is next level. As you can see here, the cheater is trying to break the block in front of him. But the fake cheat can detect whenever the cheater is standing on a block that has either lava or air underneath, and will redirect the attack to the block he's standing on instead. Whenever the cheater tries to jump while fly mode is activated, she will be able to fly, but I never said anything about landing. When fly mode is activated, it increased the jump power by 1,000 times. This punishment only worked on some servers, since most of them have anti-cheat that can detect and prevent messing with the jump power. It was still amusing to watch cheaters try to use it on all kinds of servers though. Okay guys, so this final punishment was actually a last minute idea I had before starting editing this video.
Anyone who cheats in a game, especially a game where you're playing with other people, deserve to get this kind of shit.
Toilet anyone has ever laid their eyes on. Then I simply tweaked the fake cheat so that any cheater trying to use it in multiplayer would always be connected to my server, regardless of what server they tried connecting to. Once they connect to my server, they would always spawn high up in the skies above the toilet and fall all the way down into the bowl where they would get trapped and drown over and over. So I set out to build my grand toilet and it was beautiful. Well, not really. As it turns
the Mona
out,
Lisa
I'm
of toilets.
complete trash at building in Minecraft. But a few Google searches later and more time than I want to admit, this is the final result. Everything was ready, I fired up the Google Ads again, and for a full weekend, I waited and watched as confused
Oh, you're hitting off?
cheaters
Alright,
fell from
see ya.
the heavens and drowned in
See
my
ya, no,
toilet
you're drunk.
over and over.
They can't go up. Like, whenever they try and go up, it doesn't let them.
This one cheater managed to find a hidden room inside the pile of shit and avoid the drowning. To be honest, I had no idea it was even there until I saw it on the replay. He ended up staying there for a couple of minutes trying to fiddle with the cheats menu before finally giving up. At this point, some of you are probably wondering how I'm able to watch the cheaters getting wrecked. The short version is that the fake cheat comes bundled with a modified version of replay mod. The long version is too long to fit in this video, but I've uploaded an in-depth video on my second channel where I cover the stuff like how I got the replays and a deep dive into some of the coding. Link is in the description. But without further ado, here are some of the highlights of cheaters using the bait software.
The music's so salient for me, yeah. He's close enough, he can just jump. Just jump. Oh my god. I'm probably gonna get copyright claimed for this music. Yeah, it's too late. See, we'll just walk off like that. It's so funny. They think they're safe. Get wrecked. It's like the lead shoes. It's like a lead shoes mod.
By making it this far into my video, you have now unlocked the prestigious Script Kid
No,
challenge.
it's already. It was too late.
I want to challenge you or your favorite.
By the time I realized what the music was, I was like, "Ah, fuck, it's copyright claimed." My first YouTube short. Ooh. That's weird. I don't fully understand what's happening, but sure. It's weird. Yeah, I saw that. I was seeing the text on the bottom. Yeah, I was reading it. Why was it built that way? What is this?
There's a guy coming behind me. Holy fuck, bro. I almost just went in this on-ramp. There's no signs blocking it off, and I thought I was fucking high. That's just a pit on the on-ramp. What the fuck? They don't have this shit blocked off or nothing. Watch, this guy's coming. There's a guy coming behind me.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. Oh, is he gonna fucking go? Holy shit. Oh, it's water.
Oh, it's
I am high. I'm not actually high, but holy fuck, bro.
It looks like a
it
hole.
Looks like a pit, doesn't it? Shit, it's water. Motherfucker. I thought they just carved out a hole. I'm tripping.
Woo. Yeah, why is there no drainage there?
Alright.
That's wild. That's genuinely terrifying. If I was just driving along and I suddenly saw that, fucking crash my car. Brilliant. Anyway, all right, we're at the top of what was available last night. This is Portal 1 cut content, Zen ending, Shell and Zen.
Portal 1 is somewhat of a black sheep. It's one of Valve's shortest titles, a puzzle game standing amongst their catalog of violent shooters. But thanks to its captivating design and an extremely characteristic marketing campaign, it's managed to stick out and become a staple of the company. Nowadays, Portal is seen to some degree as Valve's child-friendly IP, in part due to the Pixar-like sheen observed in the game's sequel. But there's no denying that the original game carried somewhat of an oppressive, dark, and mystic allure by comparison. And the same is true in regards to its cut content. While Valve's other games have sprouted huge communities around their scrap material, equipped with inside jokes like Half-Life 2's Free TV's gag or even Portal 2's Wheatley Crab, Portal 1 had nearly its entire developer repository leak online nearly 7 years ago, with comparatively very little fanfare. As far as most people are concerned, after the game made a switch from a Nova Prospect-style facility to the Defined Aperture Laboratories location, things were relatively straightforward from then until launch, and they could be forgiven for thinking that. But with revitalized interest in the franchise due to Aperture Desk Job and the Companion Cube collection, a more opportune time couldn't have arrived for a new discovery about Portal 1's development to be made. And the craziest thing? The evidence has been sitting in front of the Portal community's eyes for ages, but to my knowledge, barely anyone had put two and two together until now. Introducing Aussie Flowl. Hey. Aussie's a good friend of mine. I have him on my streams pretty regularly. He's a huge Portal nerd, possibly the biggest in the world, and I owe today's video in its entirety to him. See, Aussie runs a channel where he covers Portal topics. He's worked on a multitude of Portal mods, including the upcoming Portal 2 Desolation project, and he is generally speaking a walking encyclopedia when it comes to this franchise. So when he offhandedly mentioned a cut ending involving the alien dimension Zen from the end of Half-Life 1, my ears perked up. Because not only did I find it incredibly interesting, I also knew it wasn't something he just made up. Within the files of Portal 1, there's a skybox texture called Sky Escape 01. This skybox appears to be an iteration of C4A1, the opening level to the Zen chapter and section of the original Half-Life. A lot of people, I think, dismissed this as nothing but an odd leftover from Half-Life Source, since that game had its own share of weird development assets, like the developer demo that mashes up random levels of the game in a surreal experience. However, after looking into it further, that doesn't seem to be the case at all. To explain the nitty-gritty bits, I'm gonna hand it over to Aussie since I'm not super familiar with mapping and Hammer.
Hey everyone, the name's Aussie Flowl. As Richter mentioned back there, this skybox texture is called Sky_Escape_01_, and it exists in the final game's files and is incredibly low resolution. This is because it appears to be a cube map reflection turned into a skybox, almost certainly a placeholder. The name of the skybox indicates to us that this would have been used in the map Escape 01, which is the third map of the escape sequence of Portal 1. But Portal 1 doesn't feature any skybox textures in a section of the game, so what gives? Well, our answer lies in an UnclePod map file. Most of the time, source games don't come prepackaged with dev files like UnclePod levels, but in the case of Portal 1, they've been floating around online for nearly half a decade by now thanks to an illegal leak from Valve's internal repository. If we open up Escape 01's original VMF in the Hammer editor and check the properties of the map, we can see that the skybox parameter is indeed set to display Sky Escape 01, but as we established a moment ago, the map itself has no visible sky textures. So what gives? Well, if we turn our attention to the Visgroups tab, we'll notice a few unchecked boxes. Oftentimes, in most Valve maps, re-enabling hidden visgroups will reveal unused or cut segments of the map, and this is no exception. Taking the steaming refuse group reveals an early iteration of GLaDOS chase boss fight. See, Portal 1 originally would have ended with Escape 01 as a second escape level, but likely for performance reasons, Valve split the map down into Escape 01 and Escape 02, with the GLaDOS boss fight appearing in the latter. Attached to his newly revealed boss fight area is a room featuring a generic rock texture from Half-Life 2 Episode 2, alongside some pale white lighting. Now, we just need to go down the hallway, and hey, look at that. This is where our Mystery Zen skybox texture was used. Given how long the Portal files have been floating around, the fact that something like this seems to have completely floated under the computer's radar is incredibly surprising. I'm sure a lot of fans of both Half-Life and Portal would have been obsessed with the concept of Portal involving Zen in some capacity. But how exactly did this iteration of Portal use Zen? Back to you, Richter.
Well, as established, this ending involving Zen was to follow an early version of the GLaDOS boss fight that would have appeared in the second escape level, which looked a lot different to the final version we got. GLaDOS is represented as an arranged cube of floating roller mines from Half-Life 2, and the player would have had to chase her around the map and use turrets to damage her. Once she's defeated, these brushes would have broken open, and the player would then portal through the newly opened hole in the wall. Walking out of this blocky, cave-like structure, they'd exit on a ledge and look out into the Zen atmosphere. After this, the game would end with a fade to black. This, of course, is extremely confusing, and leaves us with more questions than we have answers. The most prominent obviously being, why the hell is Zen being projected outside of Aperture Science? Well, of the possibilities I can see, there's A, that the Aperture facility was meant to be based in Zen. It's certainly hard to imagine a version of the Portal universe revolving around that concept, but I'd like to draw your attention to a line from the pre-release Portal 1 ARG. On the ApertureScience.com website, an Aperture employee remarks that he doesn't think going home is part of his job description anymore. This ARG was started around the same time that the Zen ending was still in place during development, so it's definitely interesting to imagine what implications that line might have carried. B, that the skybox texture is a placeholder meant to imply that the Aperture facility was its own dimension. This one is somewhat intriguing as well, given the endlessly expansive portrayal of Aperture we see in Portal 2, but there's not much else to support this idea. C, that the hole in the wall is not a physical breaking point, but rather a rift in reality caused by GLaDOS' destruction that Chell travels to Zen through.
Yeah,
this is pure lore speculation, but it's possible that Aperture's Portal model may have mirrored Black Mesa's and how it uses Zen as a slingshot. That would definitely be a candidate explanation for why destruction to GLaDOS and the greater facility could bring about a rift to Zen. Regardless of which of these may or may not have been the case, you've got to admit the fact that one of the developers went out of their way to generate their own Zen skybox, seemingly just for use in this ending, is incredibly intriguing. And while it may seem strange looking back, the idea of Zen being linked to the Portal franchise is not actually that weird when you think about it. After all, Zen is considered the border world that connects dimensions, and was accidentally discovered by Black Mesa during their attempts at portal and teleportation technology. It's not that hard to imagine Aperture accidentally uncovering Zen as well. Prior to Portal 1's release, many developers hyped up the game's connection to the Half-Life universe, and it's very possible that this cut Zen ending might have been one of the driving factors behind that. Now, I've got a confession to make. Technically, at this point in development, Chell as a character wasn't really developed, so I'm sorry for the clickbait. But it's still interesting to view it from a retail-adjacent lens. Would the protagonist simply have been stranded in Zen, or would they have found a way back to Earth? Interestingly, this ending does seem to imply that Zen landforms are portal-accessible surfaces, and we've seen characters from Half-Life and its expansions return to Earth from Zen with little fanfare, so I wouldn't rule out the latter. Doug Lombardi was even once quoted in a pre-release interview saying that the Portal protagonist would appear in a later Half-Life game. Maybe, just maybe, the Zen ending was part of that. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. If you've got any theories or information regarding this ending, leave a comment below, I'd love to read it. But before you go, check out Aussie's rendition of how the ending could have looked with some polishing up, utilizing Half-Life Source's assets. Thanks for watching, have a good day.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I was not aware of that. That is something I was not aware of. I'm pretty convinced it was just a placeholder, because it was, you know, it was an escape map, and in Half-Life, the escape happens in Zen. But yeah, I don't know. I can't say I can speak for Valve, so who knows? Who knows? Alright, what do we got? Okay, yeah, it does look like a lot has been posted. Alright, Minecraft bookshelf is sus. Oh my god.
Don't pee on the floor, use the Commodore. La 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 la.
So about a year ago, there was this short video that a lot of you have probably seen. If you haven't, let me show you. Yep, so that was a bookshelf block in Minecraft, and here is one. And if you look really closely, the side textures have 3 little Among Us people. And of course, Marigo's animation honors this dude on the bottom left because he's red. And then in my last video, C581 made this animation, which it's very obvious what he's going for. And then, only one day later, Marigo comes back and does this. If you're an animator, please continue this saga. So to honor this partnership of 2 incredible minds of Minecraft, I have made something for all of you. So follow the instructions in the description of this video. Then craft yourself a bookshelf, like so, and there you will find a bookshelf that I made for all of you. If you place it down, you can see the bookshelf now has a red crewmate, a yellow crewmate, and an aqua crewmate, or cyan, walking out of the bookshelf, just as they should. So this is a block model that I created. It obviously has some lighting problems if you do that, but it actually doesn't look too bad. The shadowing works in my opinion, and it's not too much of a compromise on your computer. So all in all, after a few hours of work, didn't really take too long, you now have your very own sus bookshelf that you can apply as a simple resource pack.
Wow. Why? Probably the dumbest way to play Portal 2. This was the shortest I could find on Portal Runner's channel. Portal 2 beaten on a toaster?
So I decided to play Portal 2 with a toaster. That means that I literally controlled the game with a machine made to toast bread. And, well, here's how I did it.
This here is a toaster.
Dear God. There's more.
No. Behind the toaster, you'll see here, is what I call the spaghetti monster. It is a bunch of wires, a bunch of sensors, a cluster, microcontroller, cables, basically everything you need to control Portal 2 with a fucking kitchen appliance. I think we've, reached the peak of stupidity with this one. We actually fucking modded a toaster to play Portal 2. Right? Here we go. That feels so stupid. I've only got 5 buttons-ish. Not even buttons, but basically 5 inputs that I can control. So you bet there's a lot of stuff that's layered on top of each other. which is why I was saying this feels a lot like controlling a spaceship once you have to do more complex stuff. And then here, we'll switch layers by pulling out the crumbs tray. And then if I press the button, that's the stop button on the side of the toaster, it'll pick up this cube. Then I can put back the crumbs tray to move back into like movement mode. And then I can turn off the baguette holder at the top here, which turns me left. Press the lever, moves me forward.
What kind of toaster?
Turn right a little bit. Go back into crumbs tray mode. Press the button.
So I don't think my toaster.
Holy shit! I haven't modified the internals of this.
My toaster has 3 buttons and the toast
probably melt some of the stuff that's
bar
on it.
thingy,
So when I was
as well as
saying
the
that
like
shooting a portal is rocket
temperature
science, I wasn't
slider,
joking.
and that's
so you
it.
need to pull out the crumb straight.
It's an intricate
lower
toaster.
The croissant holder, and then pull the trigger. Then undo that.
How much time does he have
forward.
to do this? Yeah, yeah.
Here we go. Holy shit! It's so dumb. I'm leaving. All right. It's so dumb that even Kersey decided he wants to leave. Press the button, move it back, turn the knob, stop the knob, pull this out, press the button again. Please tell me that worked. Come on. What? Yes. Oh yeah. We got it first try. Wait, what? And we're through. Wait. Oh, I thought I accidentally loaded a save. Wait, no.
So I've got this channel points thing where if you watch my stream for long enough, you get the option to force my game into loading a save. And because of how hard it is to make saves on a toaster, this put me 3 levels back.
Oh no! There's no autosaves. I have to just play through it now. Yes! Okay! Woo! We got Hoopy! Come on. Hey!
I've never done that before.
Hey people watching on YouTube, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, you
Aww.
really should consider it. This dude makes some really good content. He has my endorsement.
You know what? He's not wrong. You really should consider it. So this will require quite a bit of quick thinking.
It's always nice when the...
Here we go.
Oh my god, he's gonna move. Switch to
press the button,
grab
pull this
mode.
back in, turn around.
He's getting very
shit,
good at
okay.
playing it with the toaster. I'm gonna move on. That's ridiculous. Anyway, Java. Java for haters in 100 seconds.
Java, a boilerplate-driven language designed for writing verbose, object-oriented, instant legacy code. It came into being thanks to a relentless hype campaign by Sun Microsystems in the middle of the dot-com bubble. It's kind of like the Macaulay Culkin of programming languages. It was originally invented to create a better TV remote. Then it officially launched for public use in 1996, and nobody's bothered to update the website ever since. Regardless, Java has been running on 3 billion devices for the last 25 years, most of which are Blu-ray players. Its motto is write once, run everywhere, which developers know actually means write once, debug everywhere. Remember the Log4j fiasco? You can blame Java for that one. Still, Java has a great mascot, a little one-eyed monster named Duke, and people love to hate it so much that it's inspired an entire class of programming languages designed to make Java better, like Groovy, Clojure, Scala, and Kotlin, just to name a few. Unfortunately though, there is no cure. Java also inspired JavaScript, a language that has taken developers 25 years to make halfway decent. And one time, Java even tried to steal JavaScript's job with applets on the web. Luckily, applets suck so bad, they made HTML, CSS, and JavaScript look like a good abstraction for building UIs. Now, when your company adopts Java, you'll also want to adopt Oracle Database, so you can spend the next 20 years talking about migrating to Postgres, while paying an ungodly amount of money that will be directly reinvested into these awesome sailing yachts. To get started, set aside a few days to install the JDK, JRE, and JVM on your machine. It's also recommended that you have a vertical monitor to read the error logs that are coming. Now, before writing any code, say this with me. Public static void main string args. Public static void main string args. Now, to say hello world, create a class. Java forces you into object-oriented programming, which means you'll want to read design patterns cover to cover before you go any further. Now it's time for your public static void main string args, and then finally system.out.println with hello world. As you can see, we get a lot more boilerplate than something like Python, which is a feature and definitely not a fundamental design flaw or anything. You'll want to start by writing one giant bloated class. Then, when your boss complains, break it into a hierarchy of deeply nested subclasses that will make it impossible to refactor. The next step is to rage quit from your job. Life is way too short to be coding in Java, man. And with that, I think I've lost enough subscribers for one video. There are only two kinds of languages, the ones people complain about and the ones nobody uses. Whether you love it or hate it, Java can get stuff done. And for that, it deserves our respect. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
That's a good that was a good line. I really liked that line. There's two kinds of programming languages. One that everyone the ones that everyone complains about, and the ones no one uses. That's perfect. Because there's no perfect programming language. Every programming language has its problems. Every programming language sucks. It's a requirement of doing things digitally. It's a requirement of making digital systems. If we didn't have to use a programming language, we wouldn't. But we have to, so we find one that's the least shit. I also hate JavaScript. I've never fully gone out of my way to learn it. It's just too obtuse for me. I like the structure of C#. But yeah, that is funny looking at the difference between like a Java to do the hi mom in Java requires like 10 lines of code, and in Python it's 1. Yeah, but I hate Python. I hate Python. Anyway, React reaction.
React.js, a half-baked functional UI library created at Facebook that's used by millions of developers because it has a cool name and logo. It was invented by Mark Zuckerberg in 2013.
The amount of jobs that I've been looking at that say, like, you need to have a fundamental knowledge of React. I'm just like, oh my fucking god. Do I have to learn this? That's the reason I like code auto-generators for that stuff. Yes. React.js as an experience. I've not seen that.
Big mistake. And it was my mistake. And I'm sorry.
React is simple, it's just JavaScript, bro. And that's why it gives you dozens of weird ways to solve the same problems, like functional and class-based components, hooks, forward ref, higher order components, mixins, render props, suspense, and so on. It's credited as the first declarative UI library, even though it took most of those ideas from AngularJS. Its killer feature, though, is the fact that you can write pure functional code. That is, until you want to do anything useful, in which case you'll need to write impure functions with state and effects. The beauty of this approach is that it makes simple things like reactive state much more complicated than they need to be, and that's what makes us feel like real developers. UseEffect is especially fun and was originally going to be called UseFootgun because it's a great way to introduce infinite loops, performance issues, and bugs that you'll never be able to figure out. Not to worry though, React is always evolving with revolutionary new features to monkey patch all the weirdness nobody saw coming on the previous release. Now, even though it has an extremely high learning curve, React is a library and not a framework, and that means to build something cool, you'll need to find and install hundreds of different packages, most of which were built by teenagers who stopped maintaining them years ago when they went off to college to learn a real language like C. To get started, create a new React app, then open up Google to enter the gates of tutorial hell. Notice how we start in strict mode. That's used to hide baggage from previous versions of the library. Now in the code, we pretend we're doing functional programming by writing our components as functions. Classes are also possible, but they are literally the devil. Instead, we use these hooks everywhere that do the same shit classes do in a more magical, hipstery way. Templating is handled in JSX. It's a non-standard way to write HTML, which allows you to represent the UI entirely in non-portable callback hell. Now, we can all agree to hate CSS, but React will make you hate it even more when you try to style something on your own.
I've never actually looked deep into React. Looking at this looks like an abomination. Fucking tags with regular code.
There are hundreds of CSS and JS libraries working on this problem as we speak.
Like
the extra complexity is
back
worth
and forth
because
between
React
like
is blazingly
HTML,
fast, assuming you implemented all
markup
the
language,
tricks flawlessly.
and then
Life
just
is about
random
suffering. It's not supposed to be fun
JavaScript
like Svelte,
style,
or fast like Solid, or reliable like
object-oriented
Angular,
coding.
or all of the above like Vue. The only thing that matters is React is the most popular, and that makes it undeniably the best, just like Microsoft makes the best operating system and McDonald's makes the best food. This has been me destroying my reputation with the React community in 100 seconds. React has been the most influential library in front-end web development for the last decade. Nothing's perfect, but it got to where it is today because it does a lot of things right, and for that it deserves our respect. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Oh, I don't want to learn React. I don't want to learn it. These videos are good. I'll watch this last one. I normally don't watch more than two of the same creator, but these are very, very short. So that's good.
Brainfuck, a minimal esoteric programming language designed to make your brain hurt. It's Turing complete, but not designed to build actual software.
Did you show me this? Someone showed me
this. It's more like a work
this.
of art that challenges the status quo. It was created in 1993 by Swiss physics student Urban Müller, where the goal was to create a language with the smallest possible compiler. It was built for the Amiga 2.0 operating system.
Someone showed me this a while back, and it is hilarious.
The program starts with a 30,000 byte one-dimensional array. All values are initialized to 0.
Probably
then it provides a movable pointer that you can manipulate with 8 different commands. Use angle brackets to move the pointer left or right by 1 cell at a time. Then increment or decrement the value in a cell using plus or minus. Use a period to output the byte at the pointer's current location, or use a comma to accept input and store it at the pointer's current location. And finally, use opening and closing brackets to create a loop. Notice how Brainfuck doesn't require silly things like variables, functions, and classes. To get started with Brainfuck, delete your operating system and install Amiga OS. Then create a file ending in .bf, which stands for Brainfuck. Any characters that are not the 8 I mentioned previously will be ignored as a comment. At this point, we have an array with 30,000 8-bit numbers, all set to 0. To say hi mom, we'll need to set each number to its corresponding ASCII character. We can increment the first cell, then enter a loop with an opening bracket. For each iteration of the loop, we'll decrement the current cell by 5, then use an angle bracket to move 1 cell to the right. We'll increment that cell by 3, then move back to the left and close the loop. The loop will continue until the original cell goes back to 0, at which point it will exit. We now have a value of 103 at index 1. We can move the pointer to it, increment it to 104, then use a period to output it. That corresponds to the letter H, and at which point it will exit. We close the loop. The loop will continue until the original cell goes back to 0, at which point it will exit. We now have a value of 103 at index 1. We can move the pointer to it, increment it to 104, then use a period to output it. That corresponds to the letter H in ASCII. We can increment it again to get 105, which corresponds to the letter I. Now we continue this process of manipulating memory like cavemen until we output all the characters that we need. Now to run your code, use right-click, copy, and paste it into one of the many online interpreters. Congratulations, you just said hi to your mom in Brainfuck. This has been Brainfuck in 100 seconds. If you want to see...
I tried to understand that. My headache is growing by the minute. What an apt name. And then at the end I post a lot. But to be fair, when do I ever post stuff, right? To be fair, yeah, it's true. While I listened to music earlier, I will skip this for now because Maddie isn't here. I have heard good things about Disco Elysium, though, I will say. Alright, we've got a Deep Rock Galactic Season 2 overview. Ooh.
It's time for Season 2, and you know what that means. We got 4 new weapons, a new Season Pass, a giant scary grabby robot, this funny mustache, snapping, and med gowns. Ghost Ship really knocked it out of the park with the weapons this time around. The crossbow is one of the best examples of DRG's upgrade system. This is one of, if not the most customizable weapon in the game. Special bolts add a huge amount of options and allow for a lot of different play styles to synergize with pretty much any build or team. I'm especially fond of mine bolts, which make bugs explode on death, and it does a big old AoE explosion. This paired with the M1000 is a real treat. Pheromone bolts are also fantastic, giving scouts something that feels kind of equivalent to lures. It's great for crowd control, which typically isn't scouts' wheelhouse. That being said, some bolts aren't as great. Tri-bolts are pretty underwhelming, and the fire ones are hot dog water. My favorite overclock has to be Bodkin points, which makes bolts penetrate and ricochet off enemies. It does decrease direct damage, but you don't notice that while it's bouncing around killing everything, so it works pretty well. To make up for the small ammo pool, there's an upgrade to pull mist bolts out of the wall from a distance, and it's pretty much a must-have. Overall, I'm a big fan of this thing. It has a lot of oomph behind it, and when you take down an enemy, their ragdoll just sails away. The crossbow shines best when special bolts are built to deal with hordes of enemies, while normal shots pick off single targets with decent damage. This design is a really effective way to make a slow-firing weapon feel more well-rounded, and I'm genuinely impressed by how well-designed this weapon is. Speaking of well-designed, there's the laser shoot beam gun, or as it's named, the shard diffractor. I don't know why I called it the laser shoot beam gun. This is the coolest looking weapon in the game, and the fact that it's powered by a piece of the Hearthstone fight is just a sick detail. As you'd expect, this fits NG's secondary bill of being extremely powerful. It melts through bugs while also being accurate and having insane range. There's quite a few good overclock options too. Volatile Impact Reactor covers the terrain in magma, and yeah, covering the ground in magma is pretty useful when you're trying to fight some bugs. Feedback Loop increases AoE damage over time while firing, and that's pretty nice too. The Shard Diffractor packs just as much punch as NG's other secondaries, but has a vastly different playstyle, and it's pretty dang fun. Moving on to my most anticipated weapon, the Colette Wave Cooker. This is for Driller, and it's basically a handheld microwave that you point at bugs and hurt them with. If it wasn't already apparent to those who had seen the teasers for this, it feels kinda weird to use. Compared to Driller's other secondaries, it's built more for AoE damage, and that's kind of odd considering how his primaries typically have that covered. It deals with hordes of swarmers and shockers very well, and during my testing, it seems like a good idea to combine this with Driller's primary. It doesn't really matter which one you're using, it works well with all of them. This is the weapon I spent the most time with. Some of my favorite upgrades were Temperature Amplifier, Contagion Transmitter, and Exothermic Reactor. On the side of overclocks, Blistering Necrosis is probably the most interesting. This places weak points on enemies while firing at them, and you can shoot those to do critical damage. Another good one is Mega Power Supply, which increases ammo count and fire speed while slowing heat recovery and cooling rate. I was most excited about the hand microwave because I didn't really know what to expect from it. I haven't really used a weapon like this before, and although it's a bit odd to get hang of, I'm enjoying it a lot. Lastly is the coil gun. I've pretty much stuck with the Bulldog most of the time I played DRG. I don't really like Burt very much.
Yeah,
so
you
the
hate
coil gun seemed right up my alley,
this game's
combining the
enemies,
precision of the revolver with the ability to shoot through terrain. And that combo
It's
is
a good
much
game.
more powerful
It's really
than
fun.
you think. Being able to ping enemies and then see them through a wall and shoot them is pretty crazy, and it also makes you feel like a badass. The coil gun is super powerful, even if it takes up a third of your screen. If it can pierce through terrain, obviously it's going to pierce through a few bugs, and that's pretty useful, especially just having it by default. My favorite upgrade is Dilated Injector System, which leaves a larger damaging trail on each shot. On the side of overclocks, Triple Tech Chambers is pretty insane, letting you fire 2 extra shots after shooting the first charge shot. The recoil is kind of like rapid fire sneezing, but if you can get the hang of that, it's pretty powerful. The Mole is another cool overclock, increasing damage while shooting through the terrain. From testing it a bit, it doesn't seem super significant, but I don't know, maybe I was just like bad at it. I know it doesn't really have anything to do with like the usefulness of the weapon, but I especially love the reload animation choice and just the ammo type in general being like this little techie sphere thing that it shoots. It's just neat. I like it a lot, and the gunsling animation is fun too. I don't know why Gunner gets all the cool gunsling animations, but hey. The more the merrier.
Right.
The rivals have doubled down on invading Hoxies, and now there's a bunch of new stuff to worry about.
Yeah, the game is really cool. The very first time, I would say the very first time you do a dive, like not a deep dive, but just a level, and do a normal level. The first time you do a normal level where you go down and you're harvesting materials, and then you finish harvesting your materials, and you tell Molly that you want to go, and then you have to run to where the ship is going to be, where the ship returns, and you have 3 minutes to get back to the ship, and you kind of have to run all the way back to the start of the level to get back to it, and the music kicks in. That was one of my favorite experiences with games, like with modern games. I think supposed to on the floor. I'm like, Torbjorn? Yeah, I mean, this game is basically 4 Torbjorns go into an alien cave to harvest resources. Yeah. Yeah, the music, wait, I'll just see if I can find it. Deep Rock Galactic, OST, I suppose. Let's see, does this have chapters? Please have chapters. It does. Wait, is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. Oh no, this is an attack. Wait. Wait. I'll find it. Is it the Descent? Robot Getaway? I can't even remember what songs it is. It sounds like it might be it. Yeah, this is it. I think this is it. It takes a bit to get into a bit. Wait, is it? Is this it? Yeah. It's when you're running through the cave and this music's playing. I think this is the piece. I know it's been a while since I played it. The context makes it a lot cooler. So much music in games, it's so affected by the context with which it's played. So yeah, this song is really cool when you're like running from all the mobs. You're just like, things are like spawning in front of you, and you're just like blasting your way through it because you're on a timer. You don't have time to like sit there and slowly kill everything. You're gonna just keep running and gunning. Yeah, I don't know. The first time I heard that song when I was like running away from the monsters, that was really cool. Anyway, fun moment.
Alright guys, 40 seconds left.
This is an Uncle Dane video.
Who the hell is Uncle Dane? Alright, welcome to TF2. Nothing weird going on. This is completely normal. Just normal TF2. Just upgrading my teleporter. Oh. Alright, well, I'm just upgrading my teleporter. Nothing weird going on. Who did this? Was it you?
Oh my god! Soldier, look out!
Thank you.
Why? Why are they T-posing? Don't tell me the mini sentry's gonna win. Oh no, it's just attrition. Laughing at a barrel.
I don't get it.
Wait, there's a character named... Someone there was named Rory. Wait.
I don't get it.
Yeah, wait. Rory was here. Hey. A fellow Rory. Going on with the view model. Which one?
I called out for medic. I called out for medic. He called out for
He's like, he sees two people at his spawn. Murder.
Giddy up.
The tea party.
He sees something.
Oh, he figured it out!
Oh my god, look at this guy go! He's never gonna get stabbed.
What was that?
I need some doggone help.
Don't kill me.
Come here, sissy. I'm gonna
I was a baby.
I'm sad.
These kids on their phones these days.
His name is Millennial on cell phone, and he just ran to mid on his PDA. That was so good.
This is the best roleplay I've ever seen.
Ran into a wall.
Man, come on now, get that pep off there. Come on, somebody. Go on, get.
You can do it. Where's your gun?
You have a gun, buddy.
I'm pretty sure this is just a literal actual baby.
The fucking Rugrats music. Thanks, dude. Why don't I ever get these ridiculous, like... Whenever I play TF2, everyone's so good, I die all the time.
Competition begins in 10 seconds.
Hello? Where is he? Oh. You are too good. What? How did that not kill me? Oh.
It took a single step closer. Oh, people who can line that shit up. So good.
Nice. Alright, you bait him around the corner and I'll hit him.
Okay. I'll do this.
There's two! Two spies! Two! Ham, I killed you. Oh. I don't think they like that.
Pay to lose, yeah.
What the fuck?
No!
You're gonna win this point.
Yes.
How do you have what's in your melee?
The cleaner's carbine.
SMG.
I like the SMG. The sniper's SMG.
What? Okay, fuck off.
Dura, shoot the top of this post here. The pole out here. Shoot the top of the post.
Which post?
Like right up above it.
How do you know he was there?
Oh.
And he just stayed there. What the heck?
Spy sapping my dispenser.
Oh my god. That's the the old Pokemon entrance, like the title card. God, that brings me back. That's like that unlocked a 20-year-old memory in my brain. Probably more than that, like 25-year-old memory. Whoa.
Can I get an arrow?
Okay, maybe not 25 years, but
Can I
like
get an arrow?
22, 23-year-old memory.
Oh, you got an arrow.
Yeah.
Just lay your weapon.
Just as he disconnected.
No,
It's perfect.
I need to leave.
What is this bit? It's just random corpses. Hilarious corpses. Nice. Oh, he gone. Yeah, that was good. That was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. What do we got? My favorite book is on fire. Oh no.
Unfortunately, my favorite book is on fire, and I should probably do something about it. Okay, so that worked, but I think that all this water might have actually been worse than the fire. Thankfully, though, this wasn't water, and it was instead something called Novex 7100. It's the same thing that's sometimes used to put out fires in places like museums and server rooms, which really can't afford to get soaked with water. Chemically, it's known as methoxy-nonafluorobutane, and in theory, it should just all evaporate and leave me with a completely intact book.
Oh shit. Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Freezing liquid nitrogen solid. Freezing liquid nitrogen?
What I have here is a bunch of super cold liquid nitrogen, and I want to try freezing it solid. At first, this might seem like it's something that's really hard to do, but it's actually relatively simple. All I need is a vacuum chamber and a small dish. Then into this dish, I just have to add some liquid nitrogen. It immediately starts boiling as it cools the dish, and I have to wait until it settles down.
Oopsies. I keep holding my hand on my mouse.
I can now top it off with some more, and I'll close the vacuum chamber. Now, I'm pretty much good to go, and all I have to do is turn on my vacuum pump. The pump immediately starts pulling the air out of the chamber, and the pressure inside is slowly decreasing. This should force more of the liquid nitrogen to boil off and vaporize, and it should cause it to slowly get colder and colder. In its liquid form, it's at negative 196 C, or negative 320 Fahrenheit, but for it to freeze, it has to get down to negative 210 C, or negative 346 Fahrenheit. But either way, now, assuming it's working, I pretty much just have to wait. For a while, it really didn't look like much was happening, but that changed pretty suddenly. All of the liquid nitrogen started freezing, and within 10 seconds, it looked completely solid. However, this unfortunately didn't last very long. After seeing all my precious solid nitrogen disappear, I kind of assumed that it would keep going in this cycle, where it would freeze on the top, and then get popped up and disappear. I decided to just leave the pump on though, and to see what would happen. To my surprise, it actually stopped cycling, and over the next few minutes, the entire thing solidified. What I had now was completely solid nitrogen, and I really wanted to touch it. I was thinking that
That's
it
exactly
might be
what I was
possible if I
wanna
opened the
touch it.
chamber really quickly. However, the moment I started repressurizing it, it all disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to have you'd have to use like one of those things where you got gloves that you could put your hands into the space. I don't know if that would work with pressure. Yeah, cool. Yeah, touching it with your bare hand would be instant like frostbite. Yeah, I think. -210. Then again, maybe it would do exactly what happens with liquid nitrogen would happen, and that is that soon as you go to touch it, your hands are so hot by comparison that literally the liquid nitrogen would sublime in your hands and would immediately turn to gas, cushioning you from the material that is actually cold, so it would never actually touch you. Which is what happens with liquid nitrogen. The reason that you can have liquid nitrogen negative 190 degrees poured on your hand, you can have it sitting in your hand for a bit, is because you are so hot. By comparison to the liquid nitrogen, you're so hot that the liquid immediately evaporates within just getting a distance away from... It's like if you were trying to land on the sun. You know, when you get a certain distance away from the sun, you will just vaporize. You will just evaporate, burn up, because you don't even touch it. It's so hot that once you get to a certain point near the sun, you will just... Yeah, so liquid nitrogen literally evaporates before it touches you. So you never actually touch the liquid nitrogen. All you're touching is the vapor of the evaporating liquid nitrogen. Anyway... I'll watch a couple more. I'll watch this one. I'll watch some of it. I don't think we're going to go through the whole thing. And then I'll watch a couple of your videos, Damien, up above. And then we'll leave it there. What is this? What actually is this? Okay, this is an hour long. I'll watch this in my own time. Right, Valve has worked with franchises such as he recently worked on Half-Life Alex and Aperture just job. So this is just an interview. Kiwi Talks. Yeah, it's a New Zealand YouTuber. Oh, cool. They actually have less subscribers than me. Holy shit. Particularly known for my Metroid Prime retro. But then, like, they're very new. They're rapidly gaining subscribers, whereas I am not. Submit questions and make guest requests via Discord. Yeah. Very cool. I'll have to check out this channel. But yeah, anyway, I'll watch this later. Sadako 2 more. So I'll just quickly have a look at these. Video is private. I'll rate it up because it's a cool looking channel. And now we've got some Damien with stuff. Everything you post is short? Okay.
Ironworks is in Misery. This is an alright map for us, I guess. Do we have a regen here? We do. Amazing. We have a regen here.
I was gonna say, can I up the quality? I can. Give it a second. That's better.
Lag? What is it, this lag, bruh?
This is the longest one? Okay. Well, it doesn't look too long. Oh, it's 7 minutes. Yeah,
drill is right here. Dropping grass so they don't see it.
I actually do enjoy playing the Hag. I'm not good at the Hag, but I do enjoy playing the Hag.
Oh, what the? They instantly are going on my 3-gen. That's really not good for us. Strap right here. Let's hope they're not as... Oh, I see you, babe. She instantly dropped Shack Pallet. Let's go, bitch. We have a huge advantage now. She dropped Shack Pallet. That's actually kind of huge. One of them cleansed the totem. Let's go, bitch. I hear one of them on this gen. Absolutely not. I didn't think so, ugly. Give me that flashy. Nope. Okay, I gotta get back to that Jenny because if someone's working on it, I can't let them.
Can't let them finish it.
You think I don't see you, dude? I know that's right. I see her over there. Let's hope they know how to play against the hag. Absolutely not. Get the fuck away from here. That should have been for the gods, but it wasn't for the gods, I guess. Also, sorry if I'm not reading chat, but I'm very focused right now.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone reads chat while playing this.
Drop that, let's go.
Like, I know there's a YouTuber I used to watch a lot of, by the name of Garuku Blue Moon, who played Dead by Daylight, and he was so good. He was able to read chat, and like, his chat was pretty quick. Like, he was a biggish streamer.
Since I've lost my 3-gen.
Damn.
Why did I not get her?
He was so good at that. He somehow reading chat and playing.
She doesn't make that.
And he was so good at the game as well.
Okay, if they're all cleansing though.
I never understood it.
If they're all cleansing though, this is good because we might get 5 stacks of Pentimento this way. Like they're all just cleansing totems left and right. What is happening?
Yeah, what the heck?
Did y'all see that? It's so weird. Okay, they're all over my 3-gen.
You trying to read chat yesterday while fighting in Genshin was a challenge. Yeah, some games they just take a lot of your attention. They take a lot of your focus. So reading chat and nice. I love that.
Key.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone reads chat and plays games that require a lot of your sort of like active attention. Nice.
Why are you flopping, girl?
There's a hook right there. Perfect.
Gotcha. You got no flashlight, Hanny.
Nice.
Y'all saw that? What was that, please? Blessed be thy name. Girl, we're about to actually get 5 stacks of Pentimento. This is not a joke.
You see what there's limitation about? Yeah.
I'm not joking, bitch. Absolutely not.
Oh my god.
Nice one, babe. They're just trading hooks at this point.
Oh, I've been meaning to say, I'm glad you're still here, Digits. I suddenly remembered. I watched that video by Stephen Plays.
I can hear her.
That you sent me. I watched it like later that same day that you sent it to me. I've been meaning to mention that I've watched it, and yeah, I like everything he says is like so true.
Gotcha.
He and I have like had the same mythos.
They're all by the guy,
had the same,
bitch.
sorry, not mythos, ethos.
What is this game?
Had the same like ethos about the way we run our channels and stuff like that, except that he started back in 2011, and so it was actually that methodology worked back then. So he actually managed to get it.
My build properly, please.
Yeah.
I hear her.
It's suffering from success. Like you didn't even like you built this build with this idea in mind, and then they don't even you just like win before you even get to use your build. That's so Dead by Daylight.
she's over there.
What the fuck? What is happening?
Y'all see this? What is she doing, babes? What is this, Kenny? What is this? Somebody clip this. What is she doing, girl? She is... That's on levitation. You know what? We'll let her go.
He's very open about what's happening. Yeah. Like he seemed to be very, very open with his viewers about like the way he runs things, the way he does stuff.
This is so funny. What is this? What is this?
I see what you meant the other day when you were talking about how the game is so.
Let's go.
Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah,
what was that?
Yeah. The game is so much glitchier now than it used to be. That's brilliant.
That's weird.
Yeah, no. What he was saying is something I had sort of come across and had suspected, and that is that. Oh, I'm gonna save this interview for later. It was brilliant. Yeah, something that is definitely the case. There's a reason why there are other channels that have like a different channel for every kind of thing they do. Like Dorgo has his main channel, which is like FNAF and other horror stuff. He has a Nintendo channel where he plays Nintendo stuff. He has a music channel that he sometimes uploads to. And then you got people like Captain Sparkles, who has his main channel that he does Minecraft stuff on, like typical sort of Minecraft stuff on. He has his VOD channel for when he streams. He uploads his VODs to his VOD channel. He has a reaction channel for all his reaction content that he does. He has a music channel for all the music stuff he does. I think he even has like an exercise channel and a car channel. He has like 6 different channels at least. And that's because YouTube, the way YouTube seems to work these days, is if you upload different kinds of content, YouTube either just suggests one type of content, or it only your channel becomes known for a particular kind of content, and that's all that'll do well. And in the case of Steven, what he was saying is that from his contact, what he learned from them is that, according to them, in order for your channel to continue to be successful, the people watching your channel, the people subscribed to your channel, need to watch everything you do. I've always had the ethos that I upload as much different... I upload variety content, I upload as much different content, I try and always have something so that people can be watching all the time, but not everything. My methodology was always... I have like 3 series going at the same time, so that hopefully one of those 3 series people will be interested in and watch. Even if you only watch one of the series at a time, then you're still engaging with the channel frequently. Apparently not the case anymore. Not since 2016, since before I started the channel. If you do that, YouTube sees that as people are only watching 1/3 of your content, therefore, your content mustn't be very good. Uploading multiple times a day is bad as well, because unless you really spread it out and it's short form content or something, if people don't watch every single thing that you upload, apparently, YouTube stops suggesting you as much. So, yeah. Remember when having a variety of content didn't hurt your popularity? I miss those YouTube days. Exactly. Those were the old days. Like when I first started watching YouTube properly, that was when it was at its height of that. Like, having daily variety content was like king. As soon as I started YouTube, it had changed. I started YouTube in 2017, which is a year after it had changed. But I didn't know that it had changed. I think YouTube was still mostly the same. It hadn't really adapted yet. The people on YouTube hadn't adapted yet, but the algorithm had changed. You can no longer have a classical YouTube Let's Play channel with modern day YouTube. Yeah. You can't do variety content on YouTube. I have noticed that before as well. It's like the channels that I'm seeing on YouTube that are really exploding, the new channels that I'm seeing. Like there's a channel that I started watching the other day that I don't think I'm going to continue watching them, but their content is like their content is very much like video essay format stuff. They started at the start of this year, and they already have 10,000 subscribers. And the reason is because their content is entirely focused on, I think it's like Five Nights at Freddy's with some like Poppy's Playtime and other like adjacent horror games. Their content is entirely focused on that, and it's just video essays. And that they managed to gain 10,000 subscribers in like 3 months. And like and then several other YouTubers recently I've seen that have like grown really fast recently. Like they might have existed for a few years, but they've grown really fast recently. They're all like speedrunners and people who play a specific game in a bunch of creative ways, but they just keep playing the same game. They never shift their game. 5 to 30 seconds. They're all so short. Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll watch a handful of them. Yeah, because I my headache is pretty strong, and I gotta get going. In a minute. Yeah, let's watch a few of these clips. Let's just play them straight here.
Let's see if anyone's around that fucking. For the gods.
Nice. That's a perfect like highlight clip. For the gods. Urban evasioning.
Yep. You see this? You see this? You crouch.
Yeah.
You crouch, babes.
I feel like people don't know that about Hag anymore.
And that's how you play against a Hag.
Yeah. Yeah. People forget that about the Hag, I think. And people forget as well, oopsies. People forget as well that you can use the flashlight on them to get rid of them. I don't know if there's a
For the gods.
your little for the gods clips.
Y'all, did y'all see that snatch? Period.
Yeah. Let me show you how to teabag. Okay. Oopsies.
Let me show you how to teabag. Let me show you how to teabag.
Were they teabagging you before or something? You're gonna get revenge. Teabag revenge. A death penalty. I keep opening a new tab. I'm so used to doing that.
Probably also the leg.
Yes.
He's peeing.
Yeah. I think if you just like walk up to him and attack him, he does the same thing. That animation plays if you do any sort of attack on him. He's like, whoa. The Meg was teabagging you. Yeah. If you want to go through his group, you have to crouch. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't believe that was a thing when it first came out, but it was by the time it got released. I think they had added that. When he was still in beta form, which is when I played him for the first time, I don't think you could do that, but I might be mistaken. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna make it to the top, Mecha, so I'm probably not gonna be able to see any more posts. But I'm just gonna watch a handful of Damien's clips because they're nice and short. Buy time for the team.
Bad for him. Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, it's a hillbilly.
Esports.
I misread the look, or is it the cannibal? Oh no, it's the
GG easy.
It's the hillbilly. Yeah.
Did y'all see how I did that? Y'all saw how I did that? Let's go. Let's go, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's more about getting to the top than anything. All right. let's save Damien. Let's save your music for the start of the next stream. We'll just watch this last clip. Call me cringe and fake again, Michaela. Click that flashlight in hell, honey.
She deserves it. Oh, well. He got you, girly. GG easy. Nice flop. Oh, she DC'd. Let's go, bitch. She DC'd. Oh
my god.
Love that for her, babes. Oh. Girly, please. Why y'all flopping now? Why y'all flopping now, girlies? What the hell? Bitch, she DC'd. Let's go. The karma. We love that for her, babes.
Wait, was she using flashlight at the start, or was it before the clip?
She deserves it. Oh well.
Oh yeah, it was that character over there. But I see. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm assuming that was from before. Before the match started, this Michaela called all of us cringe and fake, I see, and then she immediately dies. Brilliant. Perfect. Alright, well. Now I have to decide who gets the silver. I thought about there was one earlier that I thought was really good. I did think about giving RNG the silver, because RNG did make the music for my game this time around. And this first animation was really good as well. No, I'll give it to RNG, because I have not rewarded RNG for making music for the Game Jam game, so he can take the silver. Yeah. But of course, next time we'll have I'll make a judgment as to what it's Damon, your music will be at the start of the next stream, so you'll have a chance to win awards on those. Wink wink. Wink wink, nudge nudge. She brought a flashlight and tried to troll basically, but she was bad at it, and she DC there at the end. Yeah. I really bring flashlights, mainly made kids. Yeah, I don't usually bring a flashlight either. I usually bring toolboxes. I go for the getting gens really fast at the start. I go a bit of a gen rush build typically. But I usually, when I'm playing against other people, when I'm playing in a proper match, not a custom match, I don't have the items for it, so I just go with whatever I have. No, I haven't had any bots today. No bots have shown up on the stream today. Oh, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I thought I gave you an award for a previous music thing. Unless that was before I started giving awards. Maybe, I don't know. I've been trying to upvote everything that everyone posts. As long as I like it. If I don't like it, I'm not going to upvote it. But I upvote most things that people post. To give some Reddit karma and stuff like that. And then yeah, I can get free rewards, free awards to reward people with. I feel like I have given you one award, but maybe not on stream, so maybe you didn't see it. But I don't know. Well, I have no. My memory is so poor at the moment that I might be mistaken. Neither. I don't use Reddit other than for these, so it means nothing to me. Although I am getting Reddit karma for awarding people rewards. So I know it's useful because I've tried posting stuff on other Reddits just randomly, and most Reddits require that you either have a certain amount of karma, or they require that you, for every post you make, if it's something to do with you, if you post your own video, for instance, you have to have a ratio of 10-to-1 posts about other things and then about you. So I don't know. I don't use Reddit frequently enough for that to be useful for me. So, whatever the case, if you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you haven't hit like, if you want to see more from me, then subscribe if you're not already. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me in today's stream. I appreciate it. I know Oh yeah, something I mentioned at the start of the stream, which I'll mention again, is that unfortunately I can't stream tomorrow because it is Mother's Day. Thank you for the stream, and thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. It's Mother's Day tomorrow, so I can't stream tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to be getting up and making pancakes, because that's what I usually do for Mother's Day. Yeah, I should. I have quite I think it's like a somewhat dehydration headache. I have like a real sharp headache just behind the eyes here, which I feel like is a typical sign of dehydration headache. I need to just go get some fluids and things and some food. And yeah, I hope you guys will have a wonderful day. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you. I'll stream again on Monday. I'm probably going to be playing I think we're playing the rest of Stanley Parable on Monday. So, yeah, look forward to Stanley Parable in the next stream. And happy Mother's Day to your mother in advance. I'll say, people in the stream said happy Mother's Day. Also, Roy, you want to react to one more thing? I don't have time. I really gotta get going. I'm well over time. Post it and I'll react to it at the start of the next stream. Mother's Day to your mom, and bye. Rest my son. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for understanding. I will see you all later. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.